So excited, Ed. This is awesome. So today we have a very special guest. He's back for a second time on Coffee Talk. And if you've ever found yourself cruising the high seas of TikTok, you already know who I'm talking about. He's the man who brings us virtual DJ nights that feel like a vacation, mixing nostalgia with good vibes. On Fridays, he doesn't just go live, he throws open boxes and lets the party spill out for everyone to join in. From radio waves to TikTok stages, from cruise themes to late night box parties. He's built a community that dances, that laughs, and sings along together. Please welcome back the one and only Ed Vanderley, aka 1980 something live. Let's go.
Oh, hello.
I am so honored to have you here, Ed. As you know, you're one of my favorite DJs. And I was looking forward to this moment again because
Oh,
I felt like when I first interviewed you, I was a rookie. First of all, I was upstairs. I didn't have a backdrop. I didn't have a professional microphone. So I'm so excited, to have you back, and thank you for your time.
you're welcome. It
So
is my it is my honor to be here.
awesome. Thank you so much, guys, and please feel free. Also, when I open it up for questions, please engage as well. So it's been 3 years since you started DJing on TikTok.
Mhm.
How has that journey shaped you personally and professionally?
Oh my goodness. Um, well, professionally, I do this now full time. This is my job. I don't have a 9 to 5. This is what I concentrate on. It is not just the show. I've morphed into sort of a consulting where I'm helping other people, which brings me a lot of joy. That's a lot of fun. But I was 7 days a week, and I've cut back to 6. I found out that I was seven's a bit much, and I had to cut back a little bit. But from 3 years ago to now, I never expected the biggest part is the community that was built around 1980 something. That was the biggest surprise to me. I just wanted to be the throwback silly DJ from the 80s that I always wanted to be. And it's turned into a community where I'm helping people more than I ever thought I would. It's not just about entertainment. It's about the people that find me and then they find the other family members of the show. That's what has been the biggest uh, thing that has shaped me.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I am so honored and blessed to be part of that community. Everyone's here. We have Donna here. I see a lot of familiar faces here. So thank you guys for the support. I appreciate each and every one of you. What does your day to day look like now that compared to when you started? Where you were in radio. Sorry, because I know
When
you
I,
were a radio DJ, right?
so corporate
Radio
radio is
DJ.
a whole different beast. Um, the freedom that I have now is the biggest difference. Basically, yeah, corporate radio, terrestrial radio was a lot of fun. You got to meet a lot of cool people. You got to go to concerts. You got to do live events. You got to do all kinds of stuff. And it was at the time, yeah, it was great. But then things started to change with deregulation, and they let these big corporations come in and buy all these little radio stations, and they slowly chiseled away at the creativity and the freedom that I now enjoy again with doing it this way.
Awesome. And when you talk about freedom, do you is it the music choices that you do, or what exactly are you talking about?
So, well, yeah, the music is one of them. Believe it or not, it's not the biggest thing though.
Okay.
The freedom is I can say what I want. Now, I have a personal responsibility to my own ethics and to the people in the show that I don't go off the rails or so on and so forth.
Right.
But I can shape the show how I feel would be best to fit the community. I'm not one of those guys that drops F bombs every 7 minutes just to say, hey, look at me. I can say the F bomb and I can, do I curse? Sure. I drop some curse words from time to time. Nothing of major impact where everybody would be like, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. Do I say some things that are on the edge and innuendo? I have fun with that. But I don't come right out and say certain things just for shock value. Um, I'm not a shock jock. That's not what I do. But the freedom to, if I wanted to, sure, I could do it. But that's not what I wanted to build. So having the freedom to shape it how I want it to be and how the community is engaging, and they're as much shaping it as I am.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. Absolutely. I
Yes.
always say that without the followers, we wouldn't be here. We
Yeah.
need you guys. You guys are the world to us, mean the world to us. So let's talk about, you know, where do you see yourself? I know that you've been doing this for 3 years, and feel like the channel has evolved. I had the pleasure to. I think now I know you for a year, and
Hmm.
I enjoy it. I mean, I really do genuinely. I think you put on an amazing show. Where do you see 1980 something live going in the next few years? Do you want it to grow into something bigger, or do you want to keep it more community based?
I like the community based. Of course, I want it to grow bigger. I want it to reach more people. I want them to enjoy what I'm bringing them. There's so many other great DJs that are doing what I'm doing now. And I see so many of them that are doing it not for themselves. Where do I see my show going? I have no idea, Liz. It is a naturally evolving thing. There are things that I used to do that I don't do anymore. There are things that I do now that have evolved into certain ways of doing things. And I expect that to continue with the more people that come in, the different types of people that come in. I really enjoy the feedback I get from everybody. It's become one of those scenarios where the cart isn't driving the horse, but they're working in unison.
I totally believe that. And like you said, it's a community. You get to know them on a personal level. They're just not a name across the screen. I know that I'm part of that too. We've had conversations on the phone.
Mhm.
You get to know a little bit more about the people that are your followers, and it's an amazing feeling. Um, so if you could design your perfect or future gig, what does that look like? And would you ever consider doing 1980 something on the road, like a road show?
Oh yeah, I would love to do that. Matter of fact, it started off kind of as a silly part of the conversation, but Jojo Riot asked me to come up in one of his boxes. I was in Chicago. I was in a hotel room. I was at a funeral, and he asked me to come up in one of the boxes, and it came up about we all need to get together, and we were just basically referring to the him, me, and Commander Cody just get together and hang out, and it evolved into doing something, the three of us together. I would love to take 1980 something live on the road and do it from different cities, but I'd like to do it with different creators, especially people like Jojo Riot. I've said this before. He's my favorite TikTok DJ. I love his show. I can sit back and be in his show and just sit back and relax and enjoy it just like I used to. We have a lot of the same taste in music, except for he loves Queenreich and I love Van Halen. But other than that, um, and Cody, like Cody has a different style of doing things. And I absolutely adore the way he does it. He's never worked in radio. JoJo and I are radio warhorses. We worked in radio, we did the rounds, we put in our time. But Cody is one of those guys that always wanted to. And he's created a style that is completely just off the chart different. And I have so much mad respect for him because he embodies I'm doing this for the joy of it. So it's people like that I would absolutely love to take it on the road and do it with those types of personalities.
That's awesome. You got to give me at least a couple of months heads up because I need to wherever he goes. I'm sure it's not going to come to anywhere near me, so I'm going to have to plan a flight, hotel, and all that fun stuff. So I don't know.
Well,
I know that.
I'm sure it's a little ways off, but and again, the only time we talked about it really was during that live, but it
Yeah.
really sparked something in here where God, I think that would be a lot of fun.
I think so too. I think you guys would have an amazing turnout because you all have amazing supporters as well, and most of your
Yeah.
supporters are the same followers, right? So that's amazing. Um,
Believe it or not, there's crossover. There's
uh-huh.
definitely crossover, but it's funny when I go into their shows. And I'll be honest, I spend more time in JoJo's show because Cody's only on one night a week. And by the time he goes on, I could only stay, I don't stay very long. I tease him. I say he's the thin line between Saturday night and Sunday morning because he goes on
Right,
through the night
right.
and I'm in bed. I'm just like, okay, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. But they both have a lot of people that are their listeners, and we have a certain amount of crossover to both. So that's why we're always cross promoting each other. The same now with Triple Nickel Roadhouse. Jason, I helped him out in the beginning, and he is a great soul. He has a great heart, and he has so much drive, and he just loves doing what he's doing too.
Absolutely. I also am part of that family as well. He's so amazing. Very nice human being, inside and out. I mean, he helped me. One of the times that I was live, he was like, he calls me because he has my number, and he was like, "What microphone are you using?" And I thought it was maybe he was going to compliment me, but I was sounding obviously. I don't hear it. I'm not a professional DJ or anything, and he took an hour and a half of his life to spend time with me to troubleshoot, right? So I appreciate you guys. You guys are all, Ed, Jojo, Triple Nickel are amazing, amazing DJs. Do you have any bucket list goals um, for your DJ career anytime soon? What is new? Talk to me about a little bit about behind the scenes. If there's anything up and coming.
I do have something that I'm going to start doing in October. And I was toying around with the idea for quite a long time, and I wasn't sure if I was going to do it or not. During my show, I'll get requests for country music. And I'll play them from time to time. I don't play them a lot. But it's getting more and more and more. And I thought to myself, well, Jason Triple Nickel, he's the country guy. And I didn't want to step on his toes, and I didn't want to feel like I was taken away from him. And him and I had an honest conversation the other day on the phone. And I asked him, I said, what would you say if I did twice a month, if I did Cowboy Coffee? Get up in the morning and just play some country music, because I get a lot of requests, especially for 90s country. Yeah, see, like Elizabeth Francis just said, 90s, 80s and 90s country. I'm a huge fan of country music. I love country music. And Jason's like, go for it, man. Go for it. I said, I just don't want to go on against him. because I felt that would be disrespectful to do that. Because he started off in country when he before he even went on the air. Him and I were on the phone, and that's what he wanted to do. So I think in October, at like twice a month, I'm going to do a country show.
Yeah. I mean, I personally don't think that would be stepping on anyone's toes. First of all, you guys, although sometimes you are live at the same time, if you're doing it on a Saturday morning on a morning show, if it's going to be coffee, country coffee. I was going to write a coffee. I forgot. I'm going to forget
Ca-
how to
ca-
spell.
Cowboy coffee.
I'm going to forget how to spell coffee for real because I spell it like this most of the time for my promotional stuff. Then I'm like, wait, I was going to write it the wrong way. But, I always say, 10 DJs could play the same music, and each one's gonna have their style, right? Because
Yeah,
I enjoy, honestly, I enjoy your room. When I go to your room, it's the community, everybody there. The your visual is amazing. One of the best visual rooms I've ever seen, and
thank you.
But when I go to Triple Nickel, it's a smaller community, but I feel like family as well. And his emotes make these funny sounds, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
every room has its uniqueness, and every DJ is unique, and it doesn't matter. I don't believe in that. If you start playing country, that you would be stepping on his toes. Hopefully, one day
No,
you'll.
no, I agree with you, but there's also I want to have respect for the other people that are doing it.
Yes.
I want to be able to. There are several times where, and this is not a knock on anybody, but like there are so many DJs that popped up after me that did exactly what I was doing, and that's fine. I never was upset. I never got, I always, my standard line is I don't have a copyright on it. Go for it. If it makes you happy, do it. But in the same aspect, I don't want to be that person that takes somebody else's bits or sounds or da 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 just because, oh, I think that's great. That's awesome. I'm going to start using it. I
Right.
can't do that because then I don't feel true to myself. I don't feel that, I'll go into many rooms and they're using, I do a lot of sound drops. And the next thing you know, every sound drop, almost every other sound drop they're using is one that I'm using. Not that they're stealing it from me, not that they're copying me. They could have found it on their own. Hell, I don't know. But once I hear it and somebody else is like, okay, well, that's off limits. I'll find something else. Now, if I was already using it, that's different. I'll keep using it. But
Yeah. Absolutely.
so that's why I say I don't want to step on other people's toes. It's the fact. It's just a respect thing.
No, absolutely. I totally agree with you. And I think that unfortunately that comes with the territory. If somebody sees that you're being successful at something, then they're gonna try to imitate you. But like you said, often
Yeah.
imitated but never duplicated. So you
I,
never.
that is one of my sounds because it's very important for me to. It's more paying homage to my listeners than anything about ego because they're the reason I'm here. They're the reason that I've been successful.
Absolutely.
There's so many people that call me the OG now, and I can't wrap my head around that because I wasn't the first. The first two
Yeah.
DJs I found, and I always give them credit, was the Rock King Bobby D, who is a friend of mine, good dude, and the person we just lost, which was DJ Patrick. He just passed away.
Yeah.
Those were the first two guys that I saw doing it, and I had I called, got a hold of Bobby, and he called me. I said, "Listen, I haven't seen anybody else doing this besides you. I'm thinking about doing this, but I'm going to do it on a much bigger scale. And any advice you can give me?" And he gave me a bunch of advice and he helped me out, and we're still friends to this day.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Then consider yourself fortunate because sometimes, like I said, it's growing pains, when you start getting more noticed, and then, like I said, people start then saying, "Oh, well, this is working out for her. Let me try it too." But
Hmm.
they can't imitate your personality. That's for sure.
That's the thing. That is where what it all comes down to. And I've told so many people this is they can get the music anywhere. They can go to Spotify, they can go to Apple Music, they can go to the Tube, just whatever. They're coming because of you. They're staying
Absolutely.
because of you. And
Absolutely.
that's the biggest hurdle. So many people worry about the music, and the music is a huge part of it. I mean, the music is why it starts,
Yeah.
but they don't stay because of that. They stay because they have a connection.
I
They're
truly
having
amen.
fun. Yeah.
Absolutely. And speaking about the music, um, what do you when you because when I interviewed Jojo, he said that he selects it right as he's live. Do you have a selection before you go live, or is it like off the cuff when your
So
music selection?
so JoJo doesn't do requests,
Right.
and that is I didn't do requests in the beginning either. Um, requests are really hard to keep track of, especially
Yes.
in the chat below. So when I started doing, yeah, I would program my entire show. Well, that's not exactly true. I wouldn't program the whole thing. I'd program the first 20, 30 minutes just so I could get the flow and feel the energy coming from the show. But
Right.
then I would switch it and I would just start choosing on the fly. I didn't know what was coming next. Um, and then after the first hour, I would start taking requests. I started doing that and I would play a longer song and I would tell everybody, put your request in the chat. And I grab my paper and I grab my pen and I'm writing this, looking at the thing, writing it down. Okay, okay. I'm playing a 6 minute
That's what.
song,
What are
so
you
I can get
saying?
it all
That's what
in.
I do right now. That's what I do, Ed. But yeah, you got to start somewhere. But that's so cool. And then you graduate
Yes.
to the text and the phone call, which I think is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So then, and then at one point it got so much that my wife had to come in. She had to write them all down because I couldn't keep up.
Wow.
I couldn't keep up with the request. And then I realized there was no way I was getting to all those requests because I only had an hour left. So I don't know what inspired it, but I thought, well, what if I get a Google number and I post it on the screen? That changed everything.
Wow.
Because now that not only can they text me their request, but they can call in like a real radio show from the terrestrial days when you would call in. And those days of calling over and over and over so you could send a dedication to that person that you had that crush on and hopefully they were listening on the other end, and
Yeah.
that that changed a lot.
Yeah.
I was growing already, but when I did that, and I know I was the first one to do that, never saw anybody else do that,
Yeah.
and that changed everything. All of a sudden my show just went boom.
Wow.
This guy takes requests to a call in line. How cool is that? And now that they can text,
Yeah.
you know, and then they get to hear the voice on the air.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. I absolutely love it. Um, let's talk about a little bit about the cruise. I know that the Tuesdays and Thursdays, you do a themed cruise, right? What
Mhm.
inspired you to do that?
So Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sunday nights,
Okay.
I do what Tuesdays and Thursdays is the afternoon cruise. We call it the matinee mashup, where um, I kept getting people wanting me to do more shows. Well, at that time, I was on 5 days a week. And I'm like, well, I had the weekends to myself. It was important for me for family time. And I said, well, how can I do something different but be in the same realm and do somewhat of the same show, but just a little different? And I would get a lot of requests for yacht rock and slow jams. And sometimes when I would be doing my show at night and I'd get we'd be rocking out to Def Leppard and to Tesla and to Motley Crue, and we'd switch over to pop music and playing, of course, Huey Lewis and the top 40 stuff, the Hall and Oates. And when they'd get a request, it'd be like really slow, and all of a sudden the brakes had hit, and you could see it. So I'm like, I wonder if I do nothing but light rock and yacht rock and power ballads. So that's how that came up. Was I started doing it on Tuesdays, and I added Thursdays because it was so popular. But the Sunday night cruise has taken on a life of its own. And it's because it's at a different time. It's my normal show time, but I just, it's just nothing but the lighter side of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And I don't know what it is, but these listeners just love it. And it's like a chance for them to wind down and bring the weekend to the end and get ready for the new week. And it's amazing. Yes, Shaman, I said Hall & Oates. I have a running joke that since Hall & Oates broke up, that on odd years, it's called Oates and Hall. And on even years, it's Hall & Oates. And Shaman hates that. She absolutely hates that I do that. But I actually have a video. It's from an episode of Will and Grace that Hall & Oates are on. And he actually says, actually, now it's Oates and Hall. And so I'm justified. All right.
That's too funny. That is too funny. Talk to me about, and I am part of your community. Talk a little bit about the white X and green box. What does that mean to you personally, and what does
So
it represent for your community?
I actually came up with that idea a while ago, and I wanted to use it. And I told myself I'm not going to do that because the person that started the whole Red X movement, Big Hoss,
Yeah.
what's interesting, he's become a huge creator. He's massive, and he's an awesome guy. Awesome dude. I've talked to him on the phone several times, and he did not see this coming. He didn't try to start this movement. It was just boom, there it is.
Yeah.
And I realized that there are some members of my 1980 something family that they can't afford to gift, they can't afford to subscribe. And they're always putting it in the chat. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I'm sorry. So I wanted to use it as something that they could put up to show their support and still show, yes, I'm Gen X, but I have several listeners that are not Gen X. They're older, some are younger, but it's still a community, and they could put that up there and say, you know what, I'm not able to do certain things right now, but I can do this, and I can show you and everybody else that I support this family. It's not about me trying to stand out. It's not about me trying to say, hey, look, if you're a member of 1987 Live, you got to have this white X in the green box. That's not what it is. You don't have to put it up. I've never said you have to put it up. It's just one of those where I wanted to give something that those people could use to identify their support. And they seem to really love it. And I've only asked them in one show. I only brought it up in one show. I said, this is the only, let's talk about it. Let's do this. This is something that I want to do. If you want to do it, fantastic. And so many people did it. I was blown away, just absolutely blown away. And it really got me. And now, to be honest, and I was attacked for it too. I was absolutely attacked for it by other places. Oh, well, you're doing this to try to, make yourself, stand out and this and that. And I'm like, if that's what you want to think, go ahead. I don't care. Everybody that knows me knows that's not what I was doing. But that's the flip side. That's the flip side of doing what I do. When you put yourself out there, eventually you're going to get haters.
Yep. I know.
And
I know.
haters have one job: to hate. Let
Yes.
them do their
Yes.
job. I don't
Oh,
care.
absolutely. Absolutely. It's Yeah, I mean, it's the way people interpret things. And I'm glad, I'm fortunate, I'm part of the X in the green box on both of my accounts. So when you only had to say it once, and I was like, I'm here, I'm doing it. I have two accounts, and I support you 100%. And I truly believe it's not about being divisive. It's not about standing out. It's like you said,
No.
some people, especially now with the cost of the subscriptions going up, not a lot of people could afford supporting 10 of their favorite creators at $10 a month. So this is a great way to support you. It means a lot.
It's interesting on that note with the subscriptions that you just brought up, and I'm hearing several different variations. And I've gone through the community guidelines, and I've looked, and there's part of it they're saying, well, some subscriptions are still going to remain low, but then the next sentence totally negates what they're saying. And I just I I don't want anybody to subscribe to me for $10 a month. That's insane. I think this is a very, very stupid move, but I also know that they're not stupid. There's a reason behind it, and I'm sure that it will regulate itself eventually to where people can afford to subscribe. I mean, I subscribe to at least 20 different creators, and I went through and stopped auto renewing on all of them. I mean, that's insane. I'm not spending that kind of money. I'll support them, and I'll go in and I'll gift and everything. And I don't want those people to be spending that kind of money. I mean, at one point I had 700 subscribers,
Wow.
and I was like, and a lot of that was because my family here on TikTok was gifting out subscriptions, gifting them out. And it, what an amazing show of support. That was just incredible to me. Every day I do this show, I get blown away by either one act or 10 acts of kindness, of support. And when they took away the gifting of subscriptions because they're changing all of this.
Right.
And I've watched my subscriptions drop, and I'm fine with it. I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
You pick what supporter you want to support, and my recommendation would be, okay, so let's everybody support Liz this month. And okay, now next month let's go support Cody or JoJo or Jason or whoever, and move it around, because $10 a month, that's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, and I think that's a great idea. I didn't even think about it that way, rotating it. Because I mean, I support, I think, currently like about 12 different creators, and it gets pricey. $120 a month is pricey.
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
so yeah,
It's
right.
ridiculous.
It's a great
That's
idea.
not why I'm here. That's something that and I talked about this the last time you and I interviewed, and I think it's important to point it out again, is the money. If you do what I do to make money, if that's your goal, in my opinion, you're doing it for the wrong reason. Again, this is my opinion. Two, you're going to fail. Eventually, it's going to plummet, because all you do is pushing the money and pushing the money. Do I push the gifts? Of course I do. I say, hey, this is our next live goal.
Right.
You're never obligated. Everybody in my room knows that. Never obligated. And I don't do it for them. If they took away the monetary aspect of this, I would still do the show.
Right.
But I planned for this. I saved. I knew that this is what I wanted to do. And like when you start any kind of a business, if you don't plan ahead, you're going to fail. If you don't plan, you're planning to fail. That old saying right there.
Right.
But I'm also been very honest with my listeners. For the first year and a half, everything that came into the show went back into the show. You have people like Cody where 100% of what he makes goes to a pet foundation to help animals. And the first year and a half, everybody knew that anything that came in went back into the show. I upgraded my equipment here in the studio, or I would do promotions or whatever it may be. It went back into the show. And when I finally got to that point where it was, okay, now I don't need to put it back into the show. And guys, I'm going to start keeping this money as income. And I don't try to hide what I make. Up in the right corner of my screen is a tally of what's coming in. Everybody sees it.
I
Yeah.
didn't even know that.
Yeah. When next time you're in, you'll see up in the right corner, hey, this is how much money has come in. This is what you guys are doing. They know full force. This is what I'm making. Now TikTok takes half of that.
Yeah.
Right off the, and actually it's a little bit more than that right now, but they have other ways to make up for it. And from my understanding, that's going to be changing again too, now that the subscriptions have changed, but we'll find that out in 2 days when all that goes into effect. But when I said that, when I told my listeners, okay, well, this now I'm going to be keeping it as income, the money doubled. And I was just like, what is going on? I don't get it. Because I'm just a silly guy behind a mic playing music and trying to make people laugh. And then I think that most of the DJs out there are honest about what they're doing, and they're not trying to hide the fact, and they're very grateful. And a lot of them, they express it very well, their gratitude. And it shows. It shows. Now, I see some of them, they go out there and they put these, gift goals up that are just massive. Okay, I'm going to put these huge goals up, and they keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And that's the kind of personality that I'm kind of like, ooh, I don't know. I don't know if that's smart, because now it just seems like you're doing your show to make a buck.
Right.
And that's fine. That's fine. If that's what you're doing, if that's okay for you, that's fine. That's not what I am about. I put mostly the penny gifts.
Yes.
Very rarely do I put a goal over 300. Very rarely.
Right.
And I never put large gift goals up there. Ever.
Yeah. Well,
Ever.
you're one of the rooms that I feel comfortable with because, as you know, Ed, this is my only, and it's not a source of income. It is, I have a business, but I don't
Mhm.
have a full-time job. So you're one of the rooms that I feel comfortable where I don't have, if I only have, let's say, $2, that's all I can spend, right?
Yeah.
And I don't feel like, okay, I'm not going to go to Ed's room tonight because I don't have 10, 20, $40 to gift them. You're one of those rooms.
Yeah.
You guys agree with me, right?
I don't care if you gift. I appreciate if you gift. Of course I do. And now with the way that my show has grown, I never go into a show counting on a certain amount. Ever.
Right.
I don't ever do it. It is that's blind arrogance.
Right.
And there are creators that do that. Okay, I've got to, if I'm not making a certain amount, I've heard them tell their audience, and it blows my mind. And it doesn't matter if they're a DJ or if they're doing, I don't know, whatever their subject is, and they push them. And to me, that is just missing the point of why we're here.
Absolutely.
There are a lot of people that go on and they do political stuff, and they'll get on there and they'll do their political spew, and that's fine. I don't allow politics in my show whatsoever. There is a one warning system. Okay, that's your one shot. Otherwise, you're out.
You Uber them
And
out. Uber them out.
yeah, but when they're on their live, and I mean, I've seen agencies, people that represent major agencies that go on and like, okay, we got 75 cowboy hats up here. Come on, let's get going. Let's get going. Come on. Da, da, da. It's like Tony Robbins up there. Come on, we got to get this. And it's like, but they get it, and that's fine. But to me, that's taking advantage of people.
Absolutely.
That's completely taking advantage of people. And I cannot stand creators that do that. I don't battle. I won't battle. I battled once by accident, and it was with Bobby D, because we were trying to do this split screen that you and I are doing right now. And he hit the button by accident. And we went into this battle, and we're both looking like, what do we do? Oh, crap. He goes, I don't know how to end it. I'm like, well, let's just go through it and see what happens.
Yeah.
And we're all like, don't hit the button, just tap. Don't send gifts. And that was the only time we ever battled. We laughed. We still laugh about that because he won't battle either.
Yeah, I have my opinions of people who battle. I think the agencies push a lot of these creators to do that, obviously, because the agencies, the agents, get a cut, obviously, for every creator, right? That
Yeah.
earns money. But to me, I equate it as I can stand in a corner easily, with a tin can and collect money, because that's to me what it is. I always say
It
that.
is.
Uh,
It
yeah,
is. You know, am I providing a service? Yeah, I guess I am, but that's not the goal. I'm an entertainer. I was born to entertain. Not only
yeah,
am I a disc jockey, I'm
right.
an actor. I was a stuntman for 18 years.
Wait a
I
minute. Wait a minute. Wait, that side of it, I don't think was ever known in the first or this
yes.
interview. So we got to talk about. Hold on, I'm gonna get comfortable now. We got to talk about this
Uh,
part here. Let's talk about this. You're an
okay. Well,
actor.
I wasn't a stuntman in Hollywood, and I wasn't in any blockbuster films. Let's get that out of the way right now, because that's the first thing everybody always asks me. Um, very, very, very dear friend of mine who I consider my brother, Digger Payne. We call him the mayor in my show.
Uh huh.
There is a Wild West town here in Phoenix where you go and it's all cowboys walking around. You can walk in, it's a theme park. And I was working for a marketing company, and I needed some kind of creative outlet because I am a creative guy. I miss doing radio. I had done dinner theater and so on and so forth. And yes, I sang in the dinner theater, but we won't talk about that right now. And, and I got a job at this theme park part time to make mock arrests. I dressed like a deputy sheriff and the whole cowboy gear and everything. And I'd go out on the street, and people come in and they swear out a warrant and pay their $10, and I'd go out and arrest them, bring them into the jail, put on a show. Well, my buddy Digger, who I believe is in the chat, I think I saw him. He worked across the street where the stunt guys did the live action stunt shows. Now, a lot of these guys were much younger than me. I was 33 at the time, 34. And most of the guys that worked for Digger were, in their early 20s. And they're jumping off buildings. I mean, 2-3 story buildings, pretending to get shot, falling into these big fall bags. And I'd sit across the street going, yeah, those guys are nuts. There's no way I would ever do that. Well, I got to be friends with Digger pretty well, and he asked me one day if I wouldn't mind stepping in because they were shorthanded. He goes, "You don't have to jump off a building. Don't worry."
I was waiting
And
for
the
you to say
part
that you
really,
were.
and the part really has no lines, just a couple things here and there. I could teach you the blocking in 5 minutes, but we're shorthanded. Could you come and do it? Sure, why not? Let's go on over there and do it. And I'd seen the shows several times, so I knew what was going on. So I went over there and I did it. And I had the best time. And pretty soon, I was splitting my time between the jail and going over there and doing these things. But I kept looking up at that what we call the perch, where you would jump off of. Oh, I don't know if I should do that. I don't know. I got 2 kids at home at the time, and I'm like, oh. Well, things transpired to where I ended up over there full time, but the deal was if you became full time, you had to learn to do that high fall. And between Digger and another guy, Digger was the initial one who taught me how to do it. Yeah, I finally ended up doing it.
Oh, you
And I never looked
did.
back.
Oh, do you have that on video?
I have a picture of my first one. I have a picture of it,
Oh,
and it is not pretty, but I do have it. But there's a lot of video of me doing it, yes. But there's a video on my TikTok of me doing, I believe it was a 75-foot high fall into a full airbag. But about a year and a half into it, the theme park came to us. They lost their insurance on us. And they said, you're either fired or you have to start your own entity. In other words, somebody has to take over. And I took it upon myself to form my own company. And then we became subcontractors. So I went from doing a part-time gig at a theme park to then owning the stunt team.
wow.
And still own it to this day.
You still do? Wow. That's
Still own it to this
awesome.
day. Digger is still part of it. And we're not full-time. We were full-time for many, many years. Yes, the fall guy. Yes, I did a lot of that stuff. But in 2019, I partnered with another friend of mine who is, heck, Digger's known him for 30 years. I've known him for 20. And we altered the company to do movie productions. So we also have put out a couple of independent films that I thought they're pretty good. They're on Amazon Prime. You can get them. One is called well, it was Royal's Revenge. Oh gosh, Digger, what do they call it now? Because they call it, the distribution company changes the names. One is called Bite the Dust. And they're very
These are
high
you,
quality films.
these are on Amazon, you said? Amazon Prime?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Because
yeah.
I have Amazon Prime. I want to check them
Ro-
out.
Road to Revenge. Thank you, Digger. Road to Revenge and Bite the Dust. If you put, they're on Amazon. They're on all different things, but the best, easiest place to find it is Amazon Prime. Check them out. You'll see me. You'll see Digger. Digger and I, in the second one, in Bite the Dust, we both have pretty big roles in it.
Wow.
Yeah, and what's funny is Digger and I hate each other in the film. Hate each other. We can't stand each other. And Digger is, I went through a lot of acting courses in my day, back in the day. And I learned more from working with Digger Payne in 6 months than I ever did in all the years of acting school.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't
So
know
I've
that about
always, I've always been entertainment based.
you.
You know, I did plays in school. I played Danny and Kernicki in Grease. I played Conrad Birdie and Bye Bye Birdie. Did a lot of plays in high school. I won the Arizona State Speech Tournament 2 years in a row I'm sorry, 1 year I won first place. Next year I won second place because the guy that won second place won first place the next year. Then they wouldn't let us compete anymore, so they made us judges. But we won in improvisational speaking. And back then in the 80s, when we would do that, they would give you a card. and it would have just one word subject on it, like allergies. And you would have to give up and give a 2-minute speech on allergies. Well, I would get up and I'd do a 2-minute comedy bit on allergies because I grew up watching the great improvisational greats, and and I'm not talking like the Steve Martins or the George Carlins. I'm talking the Jack Bennys, the Bob Hopes. Well, Bob Hope didn't improvise anything. Everything was written out for Bob Hope, but he seemed like he was improvising. Dean Martin, all these guys that were just the great improvisational people. So I would do that kind of stuff. And then we'd get into the debate side of things. And I always put a comedy twist on everything. And it would throw, if I was in a debate against somebody, it would throw them off because I would be making jokes. And then I would just swoop in and do it that way. So comedy was always my go-to.
That definitely takes a special skill set. Would you consider bringing that into the TikTok universe?
No,
Like having a comedy show or comedy
no,
segment? No?
I have no desire to do that. Um, I want to keep my TikTok presence how it is now. I don't want to change that. Yes, the show will evolve, but I don't think that. I think it'd be fun for a little bit, but then I think it would run its course. I don't think it would be sustainable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. I think you have a
exactly.
fantastic
Yeah.
community and show.
Yes.
I see the moderators. Thank you guys for being on top of it today. I don't know. They're coming out of the woodworks today. I
I
don't know.
see that. You're getting
Oh,
hit like I was getting hit this past week.
oh my goodness. So, a lot of people, I know a lot of people here that go to your live, and it seems like a common consensus that your show, your vibe, your channel is a community. What do you think it is that helps people connect to you? Um, every time they go into your live.
I have no idea. I honestly, I
Don't be so humble. Come on.
no, I think the successful DJs or any creator for that fact are Wizard. Thank you, I love you, brother. Um, is honesty, the honesty coming through your soul, through your heart. Um, they can tell I love what I do. There are many days where I will sit here and I will have this mic in front of me moments before the show. And I'm like, "Ugh, I just don't feel like doing the show. I had a bad day or something's going on. And this finger will go down and I will hit that button. And as soon as that mic is open, I'm all better. I'm all better. It used to be that way when I was performing live, for 18 years in that theater. We called it cowboy therapy. We would be having the worst day ever. It's 112 degrees outside. We're miserable. The people are rude, and we just. But as soon as that music comes on, and I open that door to come out and introduce the show, I immediately feel better. And I think that's why I love this format more than I ever did radio, because I'm getting the back and forth. I'm getting the getting to know my listeners. They're part of the show, and I can feed off of that energy and they feed off of me. And I think that if you integrate honesty, humor, and kindness, people will pick up on that. They'll detect it. They'll understand, okay, yeah, yeah, you're still gonna get the haters no matter what you do. And that's okay. That's absolutely fine. I don't acknowledge them very, very, very rarely. And my listeners that are in here, my family that's in here can attest. Very rarely will I call somebody out. It has to be something pretty extraordinary for me to speak up. Normally I will just keep moving on, because if you ignore it, it'll go away. Plus my moderators, don't mess with my mods. Oh my goodness. They will mute or block somebody. And that's something else. And I was having a conversation yesterday with somebody, and I'm not going to say who, because they're in here and they've got something possibly happening. But I'm not going to give away their secret. But you have to trust your mods implicitly. I mean, implicitly. I never question what they do. Is there training? I guess you could call it training. But basically it's just, hey guys, in the beginning it was, you can mute somebody, but if you want to block somebody, check with me. Now they don't have to check with me. If they see something going on, just take care of it. And they do. And I even if they make a mistake, oh well. You know what? I make mistakes all the time. I don't go back and say, oh, got to do this, got to do that. Donna, who has been with me 15 years, because I've been doing 1980 something in one form or another. It was 1980 something is not a TikTok invention. I used to do it as a podcast, and one of the guys that was on it with me, Donna grew up with, and she has stuck with me through every variation of 1980 something. And she was not exactly technically savvy, but she learned, and she's become invaluable. Rochelle, she just leads the damn charge with everything. She is on it. Last night, I was teasing her last night in my show. She's in a box in the dance party. And most of the time she's dancing and everything. And all of a sudden I look down and she's doing this. And I said, hey, she's modding. Look at her. She's modding. Digger has become a great mod. My wife is an amazing mod. JoJo River Song. We call her Bloomers. She on Friday night dance parties, she's the one that controls the people coming in and out. I don't even do it. And they volunteer. All these people volunteer their time to do this. This is not a paid gig, right. But they do it, and they do it wholeheartedly. And I know that you have mods that are like that. I know JoJo Riot has mods that are like that. Absolutely. Cody has mods that are like that. Yeah. And that's where that whole community. And it's not just modding. Hell, Rochelle runs my Discord. I can't figure out Discord to save my life. And I'm pretty technically savvy.
Let's barter. You teach me a little bit of your stuff. I'll teach you Discord. I'm good with Discord. I love your mod. Yeah.
She absolutely, she handles my Discord. I go in there and I talk every now and then. That's about all I can do. If there is an issue, 2 nights ago, I went live and none of my sound was working. Nothing. There was an update and I did not reset after the update happened. So I had to shut everything down and come back. I sent a message to her. Could you put it on Discord? As soon as I hit send, I get a message from Discord. Hey guys, Ed's running just a few minutes behind. There's a technical issue. She did it before I even asked. Wow. It was absolutely amazing. If something's happening, like, I had the funeral and then I got really sick. So I had to take a couple of days. I didn't even make the announcement yet on my TikTok. They had it blasted. Donna and her had it blasted all over TikTok or all over Discord,
Yeah.
and it just blows my mind.
Yeah.
And now I've partnered with another one of my listeners. So, as everybody knows, I was part of the Fern, the Forever Young Radio Network, and that has since ceased, which means all my merchandising ceased.
I was going to ask
And
about the merchandise, but go ahead.
yeah, but I was looking into a bunch of different avenues, including the people that Jojo Riot go through, because his merch is just on point. I mean, it is really good. And if you haven't gone, go to Jojo Riot's merch. I don't even know if he's still here or not, but he has absolutely got some on fire merch. Go get some.
He's here. He's here.
Oh,
Definitely.
is he still here? Okay, good.
Yeah. I got to get me some
Uh,
JoJo merch.
yes. And there we go. See, I knew Elizabeth Francis was going to do it. Look at that. I mean, she is his Rochelle.
Yeah. Yeah.
His,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Donna and
Yeah.
um.
Yeah.
But I get this message. I just out of the blue from one of my listeners.
Right.
Her name is Elizabeth. She has a different profile, Gen Xer and Things, and that's her side hustle is merchandise. And now she is taking over all of my merch. I have partnered with one of my very own listeners.
That's
She
awesome.
is going to take it over. I don't care about making money on the merch. That's not why I want to do it. And she is more creative than I would have ever thought that I would have partnered with somebody. She's coming up with her own stuff to do. And I should have brought it. She had made a shirt for me, and it's on her website. And when you come into my show, I say, get your heart on.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing. Hey, get your heart on. And she made me a shirt that says, get your heart on 1980 something live. Just made it for me.
Cool.
And I wear it from time to time in the show. But now she is completely, she's building the landing page. She's going to be doing the designs. We're going to have hats. We're going to shirts, of course, sweatshirts, stickers. And she is just taking the bull by the horns. And I'm like, and she's just one of my listeners.
That's awesome.
And I just couldn't believe that she just reached out just right in the middle of it.
That's
Right in the middle of it.
yeah.
And it's just amazing to me.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. That just shows the support. I had actually a graphic artist. I'm a graphic artist, but because I do so many different things, I don't have time to design my own stuff. And one of my listeners did the same thing. He's on my Discord, and he started sending me different logos of the coffee talk, because I do want to create a logo for
Yeah.
that, the branding. And I told him, how much do you charge? I also want merch in there. He goes, for you, nothing. I really want to support you. As long as you give me a shout out. I'm like, I'll give you more than a shout out. I'll give you an interview. I seriously will bring you up. He's like, let's make it happen. So there are a lot of great people on this app. I think there's more great people than there's not so great people. I truly believe that.
And
Um,
you know what? You know what else I want to point out too about Elizabeth that she is doing for me? I found out there were several orders that were not fulfilled from the previous association. She's filling those orders.
wow.
She is filling those orders. And she's like, okay, well, yeah, tell me what you need. And I get it. And I get it. And I was just, boom, wow.
That's amazing. Is she
Yeah,
here, Elizabeth? I have
she's
a
here.
tendency of calling every
She
Elizabeth
is here.
Liz, because I'm Elizabeth
Yeah.
too, but uh, Elizabeth, that's amazing. That is really amazing. That's awesome. So when
And
do you?
she's under no obligation to do it, you know.
Yeah,
And see, there she is. Yes, I'm here.
yeah, yeah.
And we did it right. You know, we did it right. We talked about it. She sent me these proposals. She did it all business like. It wasn't just like, hey, I can do this. I no, she sent me. I mean, heck, I got it. I got it right here. This she sent me all of this. I mean, pages and pages of a proposal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, we're going with this.
That is so awesome. So
We-
does she do? Because I'm interested too. She reached out to me as well, and I definitely want to connect with
yeah.
her. And maybe I should ask her that question. Is she building just a website? Is she providing you with the merchandise as well, or is it just the designs for the merchandise?
No. She makes the merchandise.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
She
fantastic.
she's providing the landing that now you go to her website, Gen Xer and Things, and uh it's her stuff. And then she told me, she goes, oh no, I've already got a 1980 something page there. And I looked, I'm like, oh my God, it's already there. Look at that.
When is it available? Talk to me. Promote yourself. When is that available?
Well, that's up to Elizabeth when she's ready to launch
Okay.
everything, because you know
Okay. Perfect.
she's got to build some more designs, and she has to make some stuff. I mean, she's fulfilling the orders now of the stuff that didn't get filled from the previous association.
Right.
um and that's first. We got to get that done, and then well, I say we, but she's doing it. I just sent her the sizes, so
That's right. What Digger just said. Hold on, my in a nut. Oh God, it goes so fast. In a nutshell, honesty, honor, integrity, and commitment to excellence.
yeah.
Very powerful words. Well said there. Absolutely. Um.
I've known Digger 20 years, and and I, believe it or not, we actually found out we are related.
Blood related?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
we are six cousins removed, and it was just
Wow.
weird story, but yeah, we're actually related. Um, but what's interesting is that he was my boss when I first started, and yeah, he's the one that got me into the whole live entertainment stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Liz Francis says, "What kind of FYP?" Honestly, I don't know if you noticed that at least 10 or 15 accounts have been muted within the last hour. It's incredible, but my mods are amazing. So Jojo, not that I stole her from you because she mods for me. Just obviously when you're not live, and she's an amazing mod. I really props to her. Nelson, there's a lot of mods here. Register Gen X, Kelly, Elena. I don't know if she's here. I have a lot of great mods. And going back to the mod, just want to say it's important also that your mods get along because sometimes there's friction within
Mhm.
that, and a live, where mods don't get along, and that could make or break your live too.
The only time I ever had mods that get along is that mod is no longer my mod.
Right. Yep. Nip it in the bud.
Yep,
Absolutely.
they're just, are no longer my mod. Um, my mods have modded for other people, and I've been told that it was a horrible experience. Several other people, and that constantly being questioned, constantly being told what to do, how to do it, and then when they do it that way, why did you do it that way? I just leave them alone.
Yeah.
I praise them and let them do their thing.
Absolutely.
If there's and we talk. If there's ever an issue, we talk. They bring me issues that are going on that I may miss. I have an entire screen right over here. Big huge screen that is just dedicated to nothing but my chat when I'm live. It's just the chat. So I try to see everything, but I'm multitasking so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
There's stuff that I miss.
Yeah.
And I keep my phone on, and they text me during the show. They'll see me reach over and pick it up, and I'll look at it and see what's going on. Hey, and I'll either be like, okay, do this or do that.
Yeah.
We had a situation not too long ago where there is a person that goes into a lot of other lives that has been blocked from my show because they started talking inappropriately to women. Then to come to find out after stuff that was said, one of my mods researched because they found out they didn't live that far from my mod and found that they had a record, a police record with stuff pertaining to it. And so like, no, if they're talking that way to the, no,
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they showed up on my show the other day. I've had them blocked for months and I'll see them in other shows.
Right.
And I'm like, what just happened? And I was confused. And it was one of those TikTok glitches where they just unblocked it. Well, of course, they tell me right away, and I'm like, okay, just block them again. Just call it good.
Yeah.
You got to be careful. You got to be careful, and that's probably a big thing too. Is I try to protect, and the mods do a great job of protecting the listeners.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I don't know, but for me, I know I could speak for myself that when you get on TikTok as a consumer, not as an entertainer, as a consumer, I want to forget about drama, my real life, the bills I have to pay, whatever. And I want to just enjoy. Most 95% of the rooms that I visit are DJ music rooms because that's what I enjoy. So why bring drama? Leave it out, leave it outdoors. That's my
Some
take.
people can't help it, Liz. Some people they're addicted to drama. They've got to have it. And when something new happens, they dive right in, and that's fine. That everybody's different, and it doesn't always make them a bad person. It's you just got to make sure you maintain your own peace. I had something a year ago. Let me show you here. I got this in the mail, and I've never given out my address. Came to my house, and it was a beautiful gift. I talk a lot about the Greatest American Hero, right? It's a 3D artwork of the Greatest American Hero. Somebody sent it to my house.
Wow.
Didn't tell me who. To this day, I don't know who it was. They've never have claimed it. And it was a little scary at first. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. I would be scared too, Ed, because at the end of the day, you don't know. Like, how did they get a hold of your address?
but I mean, they sent me a beautiful gift. That thing couldn't have been cheap. It's
Right.
not like they're trying to harm me.
Right.
But now, it's okay. Let's get a PO box. Let's do this. Let's do that, and make sure.
Yeah.
But I'm not that hard to find. I've been self-employed for many, many years, so it's not exactly hard to find out where I live, what my real phone number is. I could go through one of those things and scrub my stuff off the internet, but it's over 3 years at this point.
Yeah.
I do I get nervous? Yeah, but it is what it is.
No, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
it comes with the territory when you decide to go on camera and any social media app. You're exposed to that. Especially like you. I have my name. Some of my, not a lot, but a lot. Some of my followers also follow me on Facebook, which I have my name on there, my last name, everything. So it's very easy to verify me, right? So,
Yeah.
but like
Oh,
you
thank you,
said,
JP.
it is what it is. I have a Ring camera. I have two dogs, and I have a husband that, when he gets mad, looks like the Incredible Hulk. So get through those before you get to me. Once you pass those obstacles, then you could probably get to me.
my
Um,
whole house is Ring cameras. I have
yeah,
I have one in my driveway, I have one on my front door, I have one in my backyard, and I have at every entry point in my house inside there's a camera. You're not getting away if you come to my house without getting filmed.
exactly. And this is the
Yeah.
world we live in, right? We got to protect ourselves. So
Yeah.
talk to me about, go live, like you said, 6 nights a week or 6 days of the week, and sometimes even a 2 for 2 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So
Yeah.
I know there's going to be a lot of moments that you are memorable, but can you give me one moment from your audience that really stuck with you and made you think, this is why I do this?
Yeah. First thing that comes to mind, when I first started this, I had a very dear friend of mine that I had a job offer on the table. And believe it or not, it was the job to actually become the general manager of the theme park that I worked at for years. They
Wow.
offered me the general manager position, and it was a lot of money. Or do this. It wasn't. Luckily, I was in a spot where I didn't have to make it about the money, but I had a friend of mine that talked to me about it, and she pushed me to do this. She said, "This is what you need to do." And this is somebody I've known her. I knew her longer than my wife. We had known each other since sixth grade.
Wow.
Back in February, she passed away, and she was a single mom. And it was very hard. It was a very emotional day. I was her medical power of attorney, and it was trying to figure out what's going to happen with her son. And it ended up being where her sister, who lives in Florida, took custody of him and is going to adopt him and raise him. But I told everybody in the show that anything that comes in is going to go to Gregory, which is his name. And the people just came out of the woodwork, and it just poured in. And I know that TikTok, at that point, they took half of everything. I put in the other half that was missing. And I gave it to his aunt, because I took him to Florida. I got on a plane with him and we went to Florida. Navy mom made all the arrangements. My wife, she works for an airline. And I gave her a cashier's check. Here, this is from my show. And it was not a dinky amount. And, at first it was like maybe buy him some clothes, maybe, get him some video games, something to spoil him a little bit. But the amount was a lot more than what I anticipated. It started his college fund.
Wow.
That's where it ended up being. They put it in to start his college fund. So that moment really sticks out with me, as the community really came together. And she is responsible. She is the one that said and talked me into doing this. It was in my very first show. It was her. Her name was Stacy, Donna, Danny, who is the Reiki lady. Who Danny was my first subscriber, and like two or three other, and Navy mom was there, but I had like 5 people in my first show. I did a 2-hour show, nothing scheduled. I just turned it on and I went. I had so much fun. 2 hours later, I went and did it again.
Wow.
And then it
That's
started
like a
off.
second cousin.
It started off 2 nights a week. Then it went to 3.
Yeah.
Then it went to 4. Then it went to 5.
Yeah.
It just grew because I just kept getting more and more people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nelson, and he put in there Nelson. I remember that it was Nelson is one of the big people that donated to Gregory. Yeah. There's Bloomers. There she is. There's JoJo River Song.
Welcome in,
I was
JoJo.
bragging on you, JoJo, just so you know.
Thank you so much for the heart, mate. Yeah. So Any questions, guys? I want to now hear from you guys. You have any questions for Ed? Anything you want to add, Ed? I wanted to, obviously promote yourself for my listeners. If you've never seen him go live, definitely highly encourage. Check him out. He goes live. You don't do the Saturdays anymore, right? Correct? No
No, I've
Saturdays
taken
anymore.
Saturdays off.
Okay.
Yeah. Um,
Okay.
it got to the point where I needed to take a day. I really did. And especially that everything that's happened in the past month, it was just I needed to take a step back and make sure that I had some my family time, some me time.
Absolutely.
Um, yesterday, so my wife works from home. So now we're both home all the time, and what's amazing is that as much as we're home, we don't spend a lot of time together. Because
I know that feeling very
doing
well.
when I'm not doing the show, I'm still in the studio working on stuff.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
did I see a question there from
Yes,
Shaman? I
yes, yes.
thought I.
From Shaman, yes. Let me go back. It says, "What inspires you, Ed?"
What inspires me to do the show, or you guys are what inspires me. I mean, it's that simple. It's it's the listeners that inspire me. I get no greater joy. I get. I guess keep lots of time
That's
apart. I I get the I absolutely get the inspiration from knowing that people are having a good time. I'm making people laugh. I spoke earlier about being in entertainment since I was very young. When I was 7 years old, my grandfather asked me, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I said, "I want to be a comedian." And my
wow.
grandmother laughed. I said, "See, it's already working." But my grandfather gave me this serious look because, "Is that what you really want?" And I said, "Yeah, I want to make people laugh. There, for me, that's my drug. I'm addicted to making people happy, making them laugh. Knowing I can do that it's powerful. It is extremely powerful. The next day, my grandfather came home with a book and a cassette, and it said "How to Be a Comedian" by Henny Youngman, king of the one-liners. And from that point on, he's him and my grandmother and my even my mother and the people that were very dear with me said, "We're glad you said this because you have that talent. You can do it." And I realized at an early age that this is what I'm good at. I also, and I went to school for this, but I also minored in business management.
Hmm.
I worked for a corporate, a Fortune 500 company for many years. When I got out of radio, I got a real job and I enjoyed it. I loved working for that company. Unfortunately, that company barely exists anymore. But once I left Chicago and came back to Arizona, I had Navy Mom, who I said before supported me in any decision that I made. We would talk about it. We'd talk about the pros and cons. But when I said I want to throw myself back in entertainment, she was the one that said, "Follow your dream." And this is what it's turned into. So that's what inspires me, Shaman.
Yeah. There's several comments here. Liz says, "Boom shakalaka, mucho apreciado," like you say. And then Sammy says, "The tiny diny voice sends me over the edge." That's too fun. I love to do the tiny diny, especially because my tiny diниes are come from New York City, so I
What's
love it.
funny is I haven't done the tiny diny that much lately because I was sick.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, it was really hard for me to get through the show this past week. Nobody really realized how sick I was. I had taken off. I came back from the funeral and I did my show last Thursday. I had to take Friday night off because I had gotten so sick. I was off Saturday,
Hmm.
took Sunday off again, and I was still really sick and I still was doing my show. And that's one of those times where the acting background comes in, because believe me, when I would hit the end live button, my head would fall flat on this desk. And sweat's pouring off of me because I'm like, no, I've been away enough. But while I'm doing it, the people here, I forget about being sick.
Yeah,
I forget
I could
about it.
I could definitely relate to you. There's times where I don't, for whatever reason, I'm either too tired and don't want to press it. But I always say the show must go on. And while I'm there, I'm like you. I'm a people person. My husband calls me the mayor. I think everybody in town knows me by my first name because I'm that person. I could easily,
Yeah.
at the checkout line, I talk to the cashier. At the Starbucks, I talk to the barista. I'm that person. So I love to do this. And like I always say, I'm not a comedian. I'm not a singer. I think I'm a good dancer, but I love to make people smile. And I found my spot now. Doing the trivia has just opened up a new world for me, and I look forward to going live. Where I used to not want to press that live button. It's
Hmm.
it you have to do what you love. I truly believe that.
I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan. He made me. I've been a baseball fan all my life. I was never a basketball guy until Michael Jordan came around. And there was one game during the finals where he was so sick. He had the flu. He had 103 fever. They were pouring ice cold, but he went out there on that court because they would not win without him. There was no way.
Right.
And I watched him power through. And when I get to that point, I think about that. If he can do that, I can sit behind a mic for 2 hours. I can do it.
Right.
So that takes us back right to the tiny Diney bit, which took on a whole life of its own. I did not see that coming. Um,
Yeah.
and I started doing it again last night. Finally, I felt kind of bad because Mama Bear had Michelle had her grandson up in one of the boxes, and he like stole the show, and it was great. But somebody set up the tiny Diney hot dogs, and I do very strong innuendo when I do that. And I really had to pull it back. And I had Navy Mom stick her head in the door, like, don't you do it. Don't you do it. Because that little boy was sitting right there, like, okay, I gotta be good. I can't go that far with it right now.
No, so does coffee. No, my tiny tinies, for whatever reason, I changed my voice and I could do it. My tiny tinies are Southern, believe it or not. And they enjoy it. You got to make it fun, right? You got to. I try. I'm not like I said. I'm not a comedian, but I try to make people laugh. I'm silly. Sometimes I'm absent-minded. I'm like, oh, I'll ask a question, a trivia question, and somebody will answer something. Like one day, it's so funny, Ed. You got to see the video. I asked a question. The name of the song was "Have a Nice Day." I totally forgot, and I'm doing some mix with something. And then when one of my people for the chat said, "Have a nice day," I said, "Oh, you too. By the way, I will be on blah blah blah," and they're cracking up because it's like, no, the name of the song is "Have a Nice Day."
Yes.
But it's fun, it's real, it's raw. This is who I am. I'm not pretending to be something that I'm not. And I think people love that. People love you because of
Uh-huh.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? What's interesting about what you just said, being you, being what you are. Do I act silly like that all the time? No. But what you see on TikTok when I'm doing my show is very much how I can be. And it is part of my personality. Digger can attest to this. There has been times in our professional lives where things have gotten very uh very rough as far as trying to deal with the situation. And I have a ability to go in and diffuse a situation where you think people are going to come to blows, where it's just like, okay, that's it, we're going. And I can diffuse it. And I don't see the point in not being who you are. And there's a way that if I can go in with either humor or logic and say, guys, okay, you just both being silly at this point. Let's look at it from this point of view. Let's look at it from this point of view. And I try to bring that out to the show, that where everybody will feel comfortable.
Right.
Everybody will feel that, okay, you're genuine. Liz, we know when you're on, that's you. That's you. I got a kick out of you yesterday where you were doing your show, and Nelson and we were laughing so hard because the answer to the question was Magneto. And you said, yeah, that's right, it's Magento. And I'm like, that's so Liz. She has no idea who she's talking about. And Nelson spelled it out phonetically for you. And in the comments, him and I are laughing. But that's what makes Liz Liz. It's not that you did anything wrong. It's you didn't do anything embarrassing. You're not a Marvel person, apparently.
I don't watch. And this is what they love about me, and I think that's what I'm honest. I'm not pretending to be a trivia host that knows all the answers. In fact, my audience is the one helping me. I've learned so much about music, our
Yeah.
generational music, because of my audience, and I love it. And take it or leave it. Some people maybe I'm not their cup of tea, but I'll always be somebody's cup of coffee. That's for
There
sure.
you go. There you go. And you know what? That's perfect. But that's the kind of stuff that makes what we do genuine.
Yeah.
Okay. If you go into somebody's show and you see them doing my show, I've seen it many, many times. Many, many times. They're doing my show. They're putting their own spin on it, but they're doing my show.
Right.
Okay. If you need that crutch, if you need that to do what you need to do, you go ahead. But eventually, that crutch isn't going to be able to be there. Just be who you are. Just be what you feel needs to come out. And this has happened to me several times. It's happening to me right now with certain people. And that's fine. I will never tell somebody not to support somebody else. You go ahead and you be you. Liz, that when you did that yesterday, I was smiling from ear to ear because it was such an honest and genuine moment. You tried to cover your face up a second ago. No, own that. Own that. If that was me, if I had done that in my show, from that point on, I would have a different name for every Marvel character. It would be, the Green Arrow, not the Green Arrow. you know, I would come up with so many different variations of names just because if I make a mistake, I go big. I take that mistake and I run with it.
Yeah, I don't. I never get mad. I never get offended. I get a kick out of it, and and my audience does too. Yeah, because for whatever reason, some trivia questions have, my pronunciation for some of these word, names, specifically names, are I don't know. I think of it pronounced a certain way, so it was comical. It was. I didn't even know that you were in the room when that happened. Oh
I
my god.
was, I was. And I learned that from doing live theater for so many years. I have so many. Look, Digger just put it in the comments. Mistakes become bits,
You know,
and they
that's a
do.
great idea. I should do a little, what do you call that? Story or a little video clip. That's a great idea.
You should. You should. Um, the, there are so many bits that have or accidents that have turned into part of our live theater shows that sometimes it's hard to remember the original script when Digger and I do our live shows, our live stunt shows, and he'll tell you that a lot of things changed when I became part of the team because I ad-libbed so much. And he used to get in trouble when he was the boss. Everybody else would be pissed at him. Well, I can't, why can't I say this, but Ed can say this? And he always said the same thing. Because Ed's good at it and you're not. And I'm like, you're killing me, Digger. They're going to hate me. And he goes, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing. And he helped me develop that and help me be confident. I believe it or not, I have to really rein it in. I'm a major smartass. I'm a huge smartass. And this show could be completely different if I didn't rein it into a certain point. Because there were certain people that used to come in that would try to go toe to toe with me and try to make jokes. And I'd warn them, you really don't want to do that. So I'm just saying, I'll give you this, but if you do it again, I'm opening up.
Right.
And it did not work out well for them. Not that I was trying to destroy them, but hey, if you're going to play the game,
right,
then play the game.
Right.
I love you, and I don't mean anything by this, but if you're going to go in my comments or even on your very own show and make these comments, and then all of a sudden you're going to be sensitive of what I say, well, you done brung it on yourself, son.
Exactly. Hey, if you don't want the heat, stay out of the kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah. I really do have to rein it in. I have a natural ability to be such a smartass that, and it's a defense mechanism for me. It was for many years, from my family. Not that I had, everybody has their story of growing up, of what they've gone through in their lives. Some people have it one way, some people have it another. Everybody has their own story. And I would not be one to say, well, this person had it worse than this person or whatever. In everybody's own mind, it is what it is. Everybody has their own amount of trauma. Everybody has their own amount of happiness. Everybody has their own amount of whatever that may be. I dealt with my stuff with sarcasm. I dealt with mine with wit. I talked my way out of many, many fights in high school or even grade school. I would talk my way out of them because of I got into a fight and I got hit in the face and it hurt and I didn't like that and I didn't want to do that again.
Wow.
In sixth grade, I'll tell this story real quick. In sixth grade, there was a gentleman a young kid by the name of, I'm going to say his name outright, John Scavetti. I'm a tall guy. I'm almost 6'3". And in sixth grade, I was taller than everybody. I was already very tall. I was skinny, but I was tall. Well, I had known John Scavetti since the first grade. Well, John Scavetti did not grow as much as I did. And I thought, well, since I'm taller than him, I can say what I want. What's he going to do, right? Well, I learned what John Scavetti was going to do. John Scavetti punched me in the eye, sent me on my ass, and gave me my very first black eye.
Oh, wow.
To this day, I'm still very good friends with John Scavetti. He became a cop. He's a very good dude. But I learned a lesson. I learned a lesson the hard way. And I remember my grandfather telling me when I came home with the black eye, did you earn it? Did you deserve it? Yes, I did. Okay, well, you got what you deserve then. Because it was not his fault, it was my fault. But I learned real fast that, okay, I have better than these. I have this. And not to say that I haven't had to use these in the past, but I hate it. I hate it with a passion. There's no reason for it. And I think laughter is the universal way of healing. Real quick, I'll tell a real quick funny story.
I don't
This
have a hard
was
stop, by the way. I don't have a hard stop. I don't know
okay.
if you do, but yeah.
I'll make this real quick. I had a friend of mine, very dear friend of mine, still friends to this day, but it was the group of people that you would hang around with in high school and like right after high school that you would always go around with. Well, I had that group of friends, and one of them had a mouth on him, and not in the good way. And he shot his mouth off to the wrong people. And I went to pick him up from work one day, and it was at night, and these 7 cars pulled up full of people, and they were going to beat the crap out of him. And it was me, him, and my 2 other friends against like 18 people. And I looked over at my one friend who didn't have the mouth. I said, we're going to get our asses handed to us. And he looked right at me and he goes, you better talk our way out of this. And I still to this day don't remember what I said. But we were all laughing by the end of it. And I couldn't believe it had happened. And it was not out of I was trying to avoid a fight. We were scared. We're like, we're going to end up in a hospital. These people had tire irons and baseball bats.
Oh, wow.
And we got out of there. And we got my friend in, and he's like, well, we could have done this. And I'm like, we're going to kick your butt if you don't learn to shut up.
Yeah.
So John Scavetti taught me a lesson early in life that has stayed with me, that the healing power of laughter is universal. And no matter what negative things happen in your life, whether it be personally or professionally, and my show blends that, the personal and professional. I've become very, very close with several of my listeners. Some of them come to me with problems that they have. Some of them come to me with questions that they may have. And I'm happy to talk to them and to be part of their lives. And I'm very guarded of who I let in that circle. Very guarded. But once you're in, you're in. And if you break that trust, and I find out that you're either lying or betraying that trust, I'm done. I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah. 100%.
It's over.
100%. I can never trust again. You only get one chance, because it takes a lot to build the trust, but it takes a split second to destroy it. And
Yes.
once you lose trust, it's very, very difficult to recover from that. Very difficult. You know, because it shouldn't have happened in the first place.
You know who your true friends are is the ones that you can have an argument with and scream and yell, but during that argument, you know you're going to be fine. You know everything's going to be absolutely fine. It's the ones where you don't know. You don't know how this is going to end. Or deep down in your heart, you've reached a point where you don't care. Yeah. You don't care anymore. You don't care enough to fight for it, because all that other party will do is in complete contradiction of what your heart is telling you needs to be done. And that's when you just have to say, okay, I wish you the best. I'm out. Yeah, absolutely. I keep referring back to Digger, because Digger is one of the best friends I've ever had in my life. I fired Digger once. I had to fire Digger. Yes, true story. I'm not going to go into the details because Digger was going through something at the time. But even while that was going on, we knew we were fine. Didn't mean our friendship was over. It didn't mean that we didn't love each other. It just meant that he had to get to a place where he could come back. And he did. And I helped him. We all did. Everybody that was close to him. And he'll be the one to tell you, I had him another job before I fired him. I had another job lined up.
Right.
Yeah. Because
Wow.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
I think let me see.
And
Comment with that. Go ahead. Just keep on.
He's always had my back. And he's one of the people that I've learned that Digger has a different tolerance for BS than I do. And we've both taught each other many things, as far as sometimes I let it go too far and sometimes he needs to let it go a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And we have found this beautiful place in the middle. And I always tease him that it's time to let you off the leash, Digger. And he's just like, ooh.
Yeah.
Because he can do things I'm not capable of doing. And vice versa. We complement each other very well.
Well, it's different. Like if it's, I mean, everybody has disagreements, and it's different. There's a difference between having a disagreement and, somebody literally trying to just destroy you. You know, there's
Yeah.
difference. You know,
Yeah.
and playing victim, and it never apologize, and always say, just throwing it, always the shift blame to you, right? It gets to a point that you're like, okay, well, if that's the case, then I'm just gonna let just go.
Yeah,
I'm the
and you know what,
right?
that interrupts our own peace. And
Yeah, yeah,
we have to own responsibilities for our own part in things like that. Because you know what, a situation that goes bad, that then it's not usually just one-sided.
right,
At some point or another, you've enabled that behavior
right.
because you had faith in something that had deteriorated, but you wanted to keep it. And you have to own that, okay, well, I let this go too long, but and that's fine. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We're human. We're human.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's happened to me many times in my life. And that's okay.
We're human, and we want to see the best in every person. At least that's my fault, that I always see the best in every person.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, Danny's here. Hi, Danny. I was bragging on you earlier, but the Rock King Bobby D is here. My brother.
I have several
Brother,
questions.
you missed it, man. I gave you all the credit. I gave you all the credit, man.
He didn't miss it. He didn't miss it because this will be. I will post this as soon as I'm done here. I
Okay.
will edit it and post it on. Click on my profile, and please check out my YT, because it's going to be posted there today. So a couple questions.
The true OG, Rock King Bobby D. Everybody says, "Oh, Ed, you're the OG." Nope. It's Rock King Bobby D. He is the true OG. He is the one that perfected this.
Wow.
I give him all the credit in the world.
Does he still go live?
Oh yeah, he's live every day, and
what time?
he owns his own radio station. He simulcasts his show to his terrestrial station in Arkansas.
I gotta check
It's
it out.
absolutely amazing.
What time does he go live? Rock King Bobby D. Right?
He doesn't. I haven't seen him do a lot of afternoon shows. He does
Okay.
mainly our evening shows. He does a lot of afternoon shows.
Okay.
The problem is, see, I'm on Pacific time, so
Yeah,
Bobby, put your times in the chat if you're still there, brother.
definitely.
He's the one that I saw and went, that's it, right there. He is the one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Alicia Tate says, "Who was the very first rock singer you met or did an interview with?"
Oh, ooh, goodness gracious me. Ooh. Tom Kiefer from Cinderella, lead singer of Cinderella. That was the very first interview I did. And I was an intern. I was an intern at KCCP 104.7 FM, the number one hit music station here in Phoenix. He was the very first. Yeah. And what's interesting is that in 2013 at the Arizona State Fair, and I don't talk about this a lot, but I was doing 1980 something as it was a podcast, but I would have music from time to time. And it had become pretty big, and I was making good money with it. Plus, I was the operations manager for the internet radio station that it was broadcasting on. And we had a 1980 something night at the Arizona State Fair. We had Berlin, we had John Waite, and Tom Kiefer. And I'll say this much. Tom Kiefer still has his voice, but he's still a jerk. he's an egomaniac. Berlin and John Waite, they were fantastic. But we had a 1980 something night, and I got to go on the stage and bring up these people, and I hadn't done that in years.
Wow.
But I mean, my little podcast, we actually had a night that was dedicated to my show, which was really cool. And if it was because of the guy that owned the station. His name is Dave Pratt, and he was basically the Howard Stern of Arizona. And he's one of my best friends. And he was the number one disc jockey in the Southwest region. And his ratings were higher than Mark and Brian in LA, and he was just huge. And he still owns it. Matter of fact, my replays still go up on his station. But he's shifted into his main focus is his marketing company now. But yeah, you can still go to Star Worldwide Networks, and every one of my replays for 1980 something is there.
Wow.
And it's on iTunes.
Your replays are on iTunes?
Every one of them.
How would I look for that? That's amazing.
You go to podcast and you type in 1980 something.
Oh, okay. So on the podcast, I got it.
Can I play the Muddy Pit Laugh? I don't have this tied into my board right now, Elizabeth Francis. I'm sorry. I did, but she was getting an echo, so I had to unplug it.
I mean, I can always. I don't know if it's because of my equipment, or I could always.
Don't worry about it. We don't.
Jen says soft rock, hard rock, or heavy metal.
What was it? I'm sorry. Say it again.
Soft rock, hard rock, heavy metal. I don't know if she's asking that or she just dropped that in the chat. She says soft rock, hard rock, heavy metal.
Which one is my favorite? I'm assuming is what she's asking.
I guess. Jen, is that what you want to know? If Ed's favorite is soft rock, hard rock, or heavy metal? I don't know if she's still here. That was about. I don't know.
Yeah, she's here. Asking Ed.
Okay.
You know what? I can't pick one. My favorite group is Van Halen, and I prefer Sammy Hagar. I do. I love David Lee Roth. Don't get me wrong. I love all the original Van Halen. I thought they went to a new level when Hagar joined. I was a Hagar fan before he joined Van Halen. I think Eddie Van Halen is a rock god. I don't think anybody was better with a guitar than him. He redefined how rock guitars are played. But I also, people look at me when I say this, like, what? I also put Huey Lewis and the News at the same level as Van Halen. They're not a rock band. They were considered new wave when they first started. But I'll also sit there and I'll listen to Stuck on You by Lionel Richie.
Hmm.
And then I'll turn around and I'll listen to some Mandatory Metallica that Jojo Riot plays. You know, it's I'm all over the place with my music taste,
Yeah.
all over the place. The Some of the new stuff I like. You know, most of you know my daughter DJ Shay, and she introduces me to stuff, especially in the car when we're driving, because I don't get to listen to what I want to listen to. But that's okay. But I'll be honest, the majority of the new stuff, I guess it's my age. I don't feel it. I don't
Right.
feel it here. But there is stuff that I do feel. It's like, okay, I gotta feel it. I gotta feel it. Yes, Nelson, exactly. Nelson is one for introducing me to music that he has an exquisite taste, and I'm very grateful for Nelson for that.
Yeah.
Um, he will send me different versions of songs.
He is amazing. I'm so glad that I
Yeah,
met him. I think it was in your room that I met Nelson, and he sends me a lot of music. He's very very well versed with music as well. In fact, I didn't know, and I'm gonna say here, I didn't know anything about Stevie Ray Vaughan. All right, so one
right.
night you were playing one of his songs, and Nelson was in your room, but I hit him up on the chat. I'm like, not in the chat, DM'd him. I'm like, what is Ed playing? Who's this artist? And you know what? That night he sent me an entire playlist of Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
Stevie Ray Vaughan,
he's
rest in
that
peace.
person.
He was
He's that person.
absolutely amazing artist. Gone too soon. Another guitar god.
Yeah. And speaking
Another
of
guitar
music,
god.
I like the fact that you have the banner because I learned sometimes when you're playing a song, and my obstacle is that I don't know the name and title of the songs. I've heard these songs in the past, but I don't know them, right? The artists. And so I love the fact that you have the banner with the title and the artist of the song because I'm like, oh, now I can, oh, let me listen to more of this artist to see if I like their music, which is amazing that you have that you offer that.
And that's not that old. That's only been around for a month and a half.
Oh,
That's
really? I
pretty
didn't
new.
know that. Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of music, I grew up in New York City. I know that most of your music is either rock, soft rock. Now you're gonna delve into country. Any future of playing any freestyle music? I'm a freestyle girl.
Nope.
No freestyle. Okay.
Not that I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't like it. I am. It's not my forte.
Yeah.
I leave that to the DJTs and
Okay.
the Sugar Snaps and DJ Dan,
Yeah.
who is just amazing at it.
They just don't go live too often. That's the problem. They don't have a
You
schedule
know,
like you. But yes, I do. I listen to it there.
if you have something in your plumbing break, you don't call an electrician.
True. You're
So if
right.
you want freestyle, go see DJ Dan. Go see you know who one of my favorites though is DJ Aquintex.
DJ Quintex.
Yes.
He
His
plays
real name is
freestyle.
John. He does everything.
Okay.
He does everything. And he will do freestyle from time to time. Sometimes he just sits there and plays music. He's very proud of his setup, his audio. As far as I'm concerned, he's the only one that rivals my audio. It's so good. So good.
Nelson
He
says his sound is incredible. Your sound is phenomenal. I mean, I think, not, and I love a lot of the DJs. So not trying to
yeah,
every DJ that I go to is amazing, but your sound is. That's why I thought that you had like a soundproof walls because it sounds so good. It really
yeah,
does.
yeah. And I don't have soundproof walls. I have some sound deadening stuff,
Yeah.
but it's all through my board. It's all tuned in. And it took me a while to get it just right.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I got nothing wrong with freestyle, but I can't do it. I am not. Well, I can't do the. Yeah, that's not me. That's
that's
not
not
me.
you. Yeah, that's not obviously. Everybody has their own niche, and just was hopeful that maybe you would do expand. Since you're bringing in country, I was like, maybe he's gonna consider doing other. Aside from the rock and do play pop as well, which I do enjoy. Michael Jackson and
Uh huh.
Madonna.
No, my whole goal is from when I started this was to be the wacky morning DJ that we all had in our hometowns at one point or another. And yes, Jojo Riot has an incredible sound as well. And I know how his sound is set up because he told me. But the that was my goal.
Yeah,
And doing freestyle, that would take away from that.
yeah.
So, Mama
I know
Bear, bye bye. Love you.
that was a
Rick Dees, yes.
I didn't
Rick
mean to
Dees,
cut.
actually, I
Go
met
ahead.
Rick Dees. Mr. Magoo says Rick Dees. Met Rick Dees. And he gave me some great advice early on. And he was just coming through the station. He was doing his spot, and then he had to move on because that's when Rick Dees was Rick Dees. And I wasn't having the greatest day, and he's the one that told me that haters have one job. They gotta hate.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That was Rick Dees that told me that. Yep.
Rick D's haters have. I'm taking here notes here. Haters have one job, and obviously they do it very well. They hate. That is
Yeah.
true.
He said,
Uh,
just let them do their job. Well,
let them do their
you
job.
worry about doing your job. Let them do theirs.
Yeah, you've helped. You. Let me just say, I don't know if anybody knows, but Ed has been amazing. Also, not only on TikTok but outside of TikTok, an amazing friend. I've had unfortunate events. He knows as well. So he's been a really good person to who has advised me well. So I appreciate you, Ed, for that.
You are very welcome.
Anyone else
Well,
have
and
any
vice versa though, Liz. Vice versa. You've advised me very well as too.
little old me? Well, thank you. I appreciate you, Ed. When I met you, I never stopped. My friend says Nelson.
Oh,
Nelson is he's amazing, Nelson, and he really looks up to you, Ed. I could tell you that Ed and Nelson and I are really good friends outside of the app, and he really you are one of his the top people that he supports for sure.
sometimes I become a little protective over certain listeners. Nelson's one of them, and I I've watched out for him behind the scenes because there was some stuff a while back that was happening, and his name kept getting brought up, and I'd be like, "Y'all leave Nelson alone. He's with me. He's with me. Just leave him alone." So yeah, he's a friend. He's another one that if he needed something, he could call me.
Absolutely. So, does anyone
You're
else have
welcome, Miss
any
Lee.
questions? Ed, do you any promote yourself here? I was saying before. For those of you who are here, we there was a point that we hit 45 people in the room. We still have 39 people in the room. So, if you are not following this young gentleman here, please click on his face and give him a follow. He's going live tomorrow night at 9
Hmm.
p.m. Eastern Standard Time. His shows,
Yep.
and correct me if I'm wrong, so I'm gonna do the promo for you. So he goes live Monday through Friday and Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and he also goes live on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 5 p.m. Those are your cruise shows. Did I miss anything?
Yes.
Okay.
Nope. That's it.
Oh, that is it.
I
Okay.
want to give a special shout out real quick to Danny Barnett. That's who I was talking about. She was my very first subscriber. She was there in the very first show. She has been an amazing supporter of my show, and she goes live. She does Rock and Reiki, and she does an amazing job with that. She has no idea that I go in and I actually love the Reiki that she does. I've never talked to her about it. That she does an amazing Reiki live, and I suggest that you guys pick her up. But yeah, she was my first subscriber. She was there in show one. She was one of the 5 people that was there, and her support has been amazing, absolutely amazing. And real quick, I thought I saw Jen ask a question. Favorite bit from the show that you do? Oh, my favorite bit? Ooh. That's
Ooh, that
a
reminds me.
that's a good question. Believe
Thanks
it
for
or
asking
not,
that question.
I I should say it's Tiny Diney's, but that's not my favorite. And this may cause a ripple effect, but I'm gonna do it anyway because she asked the question. My favorite bit was when I was told something was alternative.
Oh,
And whether it was or not, I could take it to a level to have everybody questioning. And it was totally just a bit. Just absolutely a bit. I love doing that. I love getting the people riled up. And because in the back of my mind, I'm going, I don't care. Whatever. You can call it what you could call it opera for all I care. I don't if it's a fun song and you like it, I'll play it. But yeah, Elizabeth Francis, we don't have that problem anymore. No, we don't. We don't. But that was one of my favorite bits. I used to love doing that, and I used to love getting the rise out of it. And I kind of miss that a little bit because it was just so easy to do. And everybody would, be like one side or the other. She
requested
does.
on
Elizabeth
purpose.
Francis
Now
does
I
it.
love it. I
Yeah,
love you, girl.
he does. And look
Yeah.
at JoJo River song right there. Woo! They're right after it. Let's just be honest. We all know what we're talking about here. After I left the Fern, um, there's one listener that when they found out what happened, and I'll call him out. His username is I'm not that Brandon. And first thing he puts in the request line, well, now that you can play these freaking songs, and starts requesting, and every show, boom, boom, every time he's there, boom, 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 boom. And so I do kind of miss that. I do, because that was so much fun for me. I mean, anytime I was told that I was playing something I shouldn't be playing, I was like, oh, here we go.
I love
Because
it.
the listeners just loved it. It was so much fun. So much fun. I can't do the Tiny Diney thing right now. I'm sorry. I don't have it plugged into my board.
Unless
And
you want
Liz,
me
we're
to
gonna
do
have to
it.
figure out why you were getting an echo. That was odd. That was odd. Because I had
I
it all
mean,
set up to run through the board and everything, and
do you want me to
as soon as
mute
I unplugged
myself?
it, your echo went away. So
Do you want me to mute
I
myself so you could do it? It's up
no
to you.
no
I mean,
no no
I'm
no no
I'm
no no
okay.
no 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 no
Uh,
no no.
uh,
You can tune into my show and hear the Tiny Diney.
that's right. Want me to tell you that from now on? What? Wait, want me to tell you that from now on? I don't know if we're still talking about. So
No,
so wait a
Danny.
minute. So wait a minute, Ed. I can actually ask for alternative music in your room now?
Yes, you can.
Yay! Amazing. So maybe I won't get the freestyle anymore. That's okay. I'll survive without the freestyle. But awesome that I
Believe it or
can ask
not,
for the alternative.
I played alternative music before, and I had no problem with not playing the alternative music. I didn't have a problem with that. That was absolutely fine. But I just kept getting told my deal was in the beginning was if it's on the top 40, I'm playing it.
Right.
And it would change, and I get that, but it got to the point where it wasn't a bid anymore.
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
serious. And that's when I said, okay, something's wrong.
I totally
But
I empathize. You and I share the same sentiment here.
yeah, and that's
Absolutely.
fine.
Yeah. Well,
I
I'm
said it.
glad.
I said it once publicly, and I'll say it now. I wish nobody ill will. I wish nothing but success.
Right.
You know, Cody's still part of the Forever Young Radio Network.
Yeah.
I don't wish him any ill will. Are you kidding me? I love that man.
Do you
He's
still
amazing.
do you go to his shows, to
I
Cody's?
do. Of course I do.
Okay.
Of course I do. I'm going to support him. Absolutely. He deserves it. He works hard. I mean, that man deals with so much, and I'm not going to put his personal stuff out there. That man deals with a lot of personal stuff in his life, and he goes live every Saturday night and gives it everything he's got. And of course, I'm going to support that. I'm going to promote that. Just because something didn't work out with me doesn't mean that I'm not going to support somebody who I care deeply about.
Absolutely.
You know, and I'm not here to speak ill of anybody.
Right.
But somebody asked what my favorite bit was, and I loved that bit. I loved it. I love the fact now that everybody races. I have the mystery boxes, and at the top of the hour, and everybody races. And now sometimes I will definitely change up the timing just a little bit, because whoever puts it in first, they own the mystery boxes. They're responsible for the mystery boxes. I used to do mystery boxes 3 times a night. I'd do 2, 2, and 2. And then it started getting in the way of the request.
Yeah.
So I changed it to 1 time, 3 songs, call it good. So
Okay.
lately I have been attempting to go a little early, or I'll go a little late, because
Yeah.
there are people that will put in their phone and wait for me to say those 4 words. Give it to me. And they'll hit send. So if I go early, they're not ready.
Right. Well,
And
I
I
want you to.
love that they do that, but I just try to mess with them just a little bit.
Can you explain? Because I hear you saying it, and I just drop in the three random letters, but I don't exactly understand the whole concept. Are those songs chosen like? Do you choose them before the live? The ones that are in the
Yes.
mystery boxes.
So
How's that work?
here's how the mystery boxes work. I have a massive music library,
Okay.
and it's actually, I have almost 2 of every song on hard drives that I own. One of them is listed as the song title and artist, and they're broken down into groups. They're broken down into different files, and then on the other hard drive, I have it. They're all they're all file numbers.
Mhm.
They're broken out into genre, so I'll know if it's yacht rock, if it's country, if it's alternative, if it's hair metal, whatever. But I have no idea what the song is. It is a mystery to me too. And I will load that into
Oh,
my program. I have no idea what they are.
oh, that even makes
We
it
find out
much.
together.
That's awesome. That even makes it more
You,
fun.
you'll see me when I hit play. My face is always like this, because I'm listening too to find
Right.
out what it is. But now we
Uh,
have the competition of, we call it the quick draw McGraw. Who's the fastest on the draw? Who's going to be the one to get it?
okay. So if I understand correctly, when you actually say those 4 words, it's the first person on your end that you see that comments the 3 letters.
Yes.
Is that okay? Got it. Got it.
Yes, it's the first person that pops up in my chat. Sometimes
Okay.
when you put something in your chat will appear before somebody else's,
Right.
but I see where it appears in the line of succession.
Right.
So
Correct.
whoever that is, because many a times I'll get a message, "Hey, I was before so and so." Well, no, actually you
Yep.
weren't, because TikTok will push that. Yeah, we used to do number mystery box. It used to be 1, 2, and 3. But for a while there, you couldn't put numbers in the chat,
Right.
which
Yeah.
now it doesn't matter. But now we've gotten so used to it being this way because the intro to the mystery boxes is the Jackson 5 ABC.
Right.
So yeah,
That's awesome.
maybe
That
one
is
maybe
awesome.
one night maybe one night I'll change it. Maybe one night I'll change it and not tell anybody and just say, all right, now you got to put numbers in the chat.
Ah, yeah, because I'm sure people already have that would be great if you do that. Actually, that would be
Yeah,
great. Yeah.
I just
Uh,
it's fun to keep everybody on their toes.
yeah. No, it's fun. I mean, you like I said before, I enjoy your live. And it let me tell you, you're on prime time. It makes it very difficult once you start knowing more people that actually go live, and they go live usually from 8 to 10. That spot to me is prime, right? So
Yeah.
and it's hard once I go to your room, I don't want to leave. So sometimes I'm like, okay, but I need to support this one and this one and this one. How do I do this if everybody goes live at 8 or 9 o'clock? But I always try to. I will support, but I usually stay the longest in your room because I really enjoy it. I genuinely enjoy it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, timing. I was very lucky because, and Danny Barnett can tell you that when I first started doing this, what was hard for me was I'm in Arizona. We don't change times with daylight savings. We stay it all year long. We change time zones, but our time doesn't change. We'll go
Oh,
from Pacific Standard Time to Mountain Standard Time and then back.
oh,
And the very first time change we had, I didn't change my times. And everybody else in the country shifted.
right.
And that was a mistake. That was can't do that. So what I do now is when you guys fall back, I move my time personally forward an hour. So it's the same time for the rest of the country.
Nice.
The only people
Okay.
that have to adjust are the listeners I have here in Arizona, which there are several.
Yeah.
But so in Arizona, I will go on an hour later, but for the rest of the country,
Yeah.
it's the same. And I wish they would just get rid of the whole daylight savings time for the whole country. I know they keep talking about it and talking about it. That would make radio life so much easier.
More than just radio life, every life, every life for that matter.
Yeah.
We do too. Yes, please, says Mr. Magoo. I have many friends. I'm just reading the comments, see if I miss any comments, guys. I don't want to obviously disrespect your time. You've been with me, and I could talk to you
Yeah.
forever, Ed. You know that, right? So we've been out for over 2 hours, guys. Does
Oh
anybody
wow,
have
we have.
any? Yeah, I mean, it went by fast. It's like I said, talking to you is so easy. You're so approachable. Um, only affects dinner time, says Navy Mom. Who does the cooking in your
True.
house? Is it you or Navy Mom who does the cook, or both?
Oh, she does the cooking. I,
She does the
I I
cooking.
cook I
Okay.
cook like two or three things. That's it. She does everything else. Um, and she's an amazing cook. And she's always, do you want to eat before the show or after the show? And there's times where she's had a hard day, and it's like, don't worry about it. Let's just order something. And no, 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 I'm gonna make something for you. And she loves to cook, and she's very good too, which I'm very grateful for. Um,
What
but
is
she
your
always makes
dish?
sure that I'm prepared.
What is your go-to dish? What's your favorite dish?
Oh, she makes a killer meatloaf. Oh,
Oh, meatloaf.
makes a
That's
killer
awesome.
meatloaf. You're not invisible, Nelson. I see you, Nelson,
he does
Mister
this.
Nelson.
He does this to me all the time.
I
All
know.
the
Nelson, bless your heart, Nelson. Give me one of those tiny diners. I love the
There
tiny
you go.
diners.
That is a very New York tiny diny
for,
right there.
for whatever reason, I changed my voice to Southern when I changed my voice. Go
Yeah, no
figure.
kidding. That was not a very New York tiny diny. I'm like, howdy, ma'am. There's a tiny diner right here. Thank you very much.
Guys, Ed, any thoughts? Anything you want to add that I missed? Anybody in the chat? I will.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for being the only person to ever be interviewed by you twice. Thank you for
Yeah.
that. I
It was
appreciate
much
the
needed.
I do, and I appreciate the reasonings behind it, and I appreciate the support and of everybody that's come through here and everybody that comes to the shows, your show, my show. If you find a creator that you really enjoy, don't worry about what anybody else says or anything else is going on. If you enjoy that person, then support that creator. It has no bearing on what's happened with anybody else. If it brings you joy, then go. If it doesn't bring you joy, then don't put yourself through it. That goes for my show. I know Liz feels the same way.
Absolutely.
That's probably the biggest thing that I wanted to put across was support what brings you joy.
Amen.
I've had a lot of people reach out and say many, many different things to me since I left the firm. And my response is always the same. Don't worry about what happened. First of all, it's none of your business what happened. Second of all, there's going to be, my grandfather always says there's two sides to every story, and somewhere in the middle is the truth.
Yep.
Everybody has their own truth. Find what brings you joy. Then go with that joy. Like I said, I love watching Jojo Riot. I'm not saying this to promote his show. I'm not saying this to get him more listeners. I'm saying I can put his show on, set it down, do my work, and I just absolutely in enjoyment. I don't have to worry about anything. I just know that he's going to play music that I like. He's going to be complimentary to his listeners. He's fun. And that's where I go. Now, the sad part is that a lot of the times I only get an hour of them.
Right.
Because then I go live.
I know. It makes it difficult.
But
For
that's
us, too.
okay. That's okay. And we've talked about it. You know, Jason goes on, Triple Nickel goes on right up against me. I hardly get to see his show. But there's plenty of room here on TikTok for everybody. And what's funny, though, is that a lot of my listeners will go in a little bit before I go on. They'll go into JoJo's show.
Yeah.
But we've adapted to what we call the Riot Raid. As soon as he finishes, it's either Elizabeth Francis, Ralph, or JoJo himself will come into my show. And then there's this flood of people that come into my show as soon as he wraps up. As soon as he's done the Riot Raid. And that's how it should be. That's how it should be. Am I upset that he goes on against me? Oh, God, no. Why would I be upset about that? A lot of people have asked me, aren't you upset that, or if Round Mound goes on, why would you be upset?
Right.
If somebody goes long and goes on and they're like, oh, they're still on, I don't care.
Right.
Let them do. I'm here to do my show.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I've had
I'm
that
here.
situation.
I'm here to do my show for the people that want to hear my show.
Right.
And I know for a fact that Jason feels the same, Jojo Riot feels the same, Cody feels the same. I know you feel the same. There are so many of them that are just like, stop worrying about competition. It's not competition.
Right. It's not.
Jojo Riot and I are becoming very good friends outside of TikTok. He's helped me with some things. I've helped him with some things. And it's turning into a wonderful friendship. And I want people to understand that if you leave my show to go watch his, awesome. Yes. It's not hurting my feelings. There's other creators that are like, oh, well, Ah, stop it. Just stop with that. There's no reason for it. Everybody can get a piece. Nelson just put in there what I was about to say. Look at that. Everybody, and it's not even about a piece. It's
There's room for everyone.
because the people that have a problem with it are in it for this.
Right.
They're in
Exactly.
it for the money.
Exactly.
And that's not why you should do this.
right.
If you do it with the true intentions, it will come. If you build it, they will come, right? Everybody's heard
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
And when there's people out there of the caliber of the people that I just mentioned, it is so extraordinary to not only listen to their shows and enjoy their content. And it doesn't even have to be a DJ, but to get to know them on a personal level is quite extraordinary. Quite extraordinary. Because you find out things you have in common or things that they've experienced that you haven't that can help you with your stuff, or hopefully vice versa. And I just absolutely, I love the fact that Jojo Riot is on part of my show. Because I know once I hit those mystery boxes at the top of the hour, I know the Riot Raid is coming. I know it is, and I look forward to it. Because the Elizabeth Francis, and when JoJo's not on, because he takes a couple of days off, which sucked because he did like every day in August, and I got so used to it. And I went to go watch his show. I went to go watch his show and it wasn't on, and I'm like, oh, come on, man.
I know. Me too. Me too. Jojo, you got to bring it back. Jojo, bring it back.
Well, he's got a family too now. He's a family man, and
I know.
And there, he's back here. I didn't even know you were still in here, Jojo.
Yeah. I got used to it too, man. I really enjoyed it.
I did. But he does his 4-hour Sunday morning thing, which is really nice. Very few creators will I set an alarm and get up for. He's one of them. When he did his birthday broadcast-a-thon, I set my alarm to be there right when he went on the air, and I would go in throughout the day. And it's not about partnering with other creators. It's about developing relationships that can benefit the listeners first and each other second. That's very important. You have to differentiate. Okay, how is this going to help my listeners?
Right. I love that you said that. It's not what is in it for me.
Yeah.
Never. I always think, because like I always say, if I turn on this live and there's nobody in the room, I'm talking to myself. Without you guys, there wouldn't be no us. So I will no, and I always say, no matter if I currently have 12,000 followers, whether I get 120,000, 12 million, it doesn't matter. I always will think the same way. I remember how I started.
Danny just put in her comment there. She'll go live doing her rock and Reiki while I'm live. And she will have my show playing in the background for the music and the entertainment while she's doing her Reiki. Okay, I'm going to do it for you, Danny. I don't know how I'm doing or what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. But I love it when she does it because I can feel it. But and I just get the biggest kick out of it. And we'll say hi to everybody in her show. She'll have 1-2 of her listeners will pop back into my show. We just heard you say hi to us, and then go back into her show.
That is so cool. So you guys co-host on when is this happen?
We don't co-host. It's not a co-host.
Oh,
she does her rock and Reiki, but for the first hour,
right?
Or that she does it is my last hour that I'm on. Kind of like how I am with JoJo Riot, but she'll put on my show in the background.
Oh, that is so cool.
Picks up, and the music I'm playing is what her viewers are listening to.
Oh, that's so
and
brilliant.
Then when I get off, I'll usually pop in and say hi to everybody. So
that's brilliant. I
And then
love
she takes
that.
requests once I'm off the air. Very rarely will I go long. I've done it a few times. It's got to be something really spectacular for me to go long. I try to keep a rigid schedule.
Yeah.
People have lives, and I always try to ask my moderators if it's okay first because they have lives, they have stuff going on.
Right.
Um, and I don't want to bleed into somebody else's unless again, if something spectacular is going on, if I've got 400 people in my room
Right.
and they're true people, guess what? I'm going long.
Right.
I'm
Of
going
course.
long.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Actually, you know what? Elizabeth Francis just said, Liz, you need to do an interview with Danny Barnett. You should. You need to schedule her. I think that would be a fantastic interview.
Contact me. Send me a DM, and I definitely would love that. We could make that happen for sure. I am actually enjoying the Saturday morning interviews. I find that there's obviously more people that are not working on Saturdays. So instead of doing the Wednesday morning, I find that this we had a better turnout when we do a Saturday. So, I mean, unless you can't do it on Saturday, Sunday, but I think we should definitely do that. Yeah, Saturdays
See, look
mornings
at
have
that.
been
Sounds
nice. Yeah,
awesome, she
absolutely.
said.
Yeah. There's always
JP
been good
Diamond. When Ed comes into my show, I get excited. Totally makes my show. JP Diamond. Thank you, my friend. He's a good dude. He's a wrestling promoter. But he does a live broadcast like me.
Yeah. Well, tonight
He's
is
a
what
good dude.
JoJo's gonna be on tonight, right at 8 o'clock.
JoJo, yeah, you got Cody tonight. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Because my husband, I don't know if you're into boxing, Ed, but my husband is gonna be glued to the TV watching Canelo. So I don't
There
watch
you go. So
boxing.
we know what you'll
Yeah,
be doing.
I know. I already told him, listen, well, let's order out or order in, unless I'm gonna be doing TikTok. Oh, Nelson's gonna be watching football.
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 Yeah, it's football season. So,
So guys,
yep.
anyway, last questions. Live shows Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 8 to 10 p.m. Sundays 9 a.m. That's for JoJo, right? Yeah. So for Ed though, real quick, again, one more time for those of you.
It's Sunday through
Yeah.
Friday at 6 o'clock. Tuesdays and Thursdays. Well, at 6 o'clock that's Pacific, so 9 o'clock Eastern.
Right.
Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Pacific. And then the Sunday nights, though, is the Sunday night cruise. So Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursday afternoons are all the lighter side of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And then basically what I've said for years, and I stopped saying it for a while, and I'm back to saying it, is we play the best of the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and basically whatever the hell we want. Because I always used to say, it's my show, I want to play what I want. And every now and then I'll play some newer stuff, or I'll surprise people with some very 80s related. But that's why it's 1980 something.
Right. Well, I was going to ask you, are you going to, because if you do play 70s and 90s, are you planning ever to change the name, or is,
Nope.
1980
something? It will always be 1980 something. Okay. And yes, I stole the name from the Mark Wills song that came out it's called 19 something. Yeah. I completely ripped off that name. Because when he says in the song, it was 1980 something, I'm like, wow, that really hit home with me. And then they started using it in the Goldbergs. They started using that term in the Goldbergs. It was 1980 something. And if you are a Gen X, it wasn't just about the 80s. You grew up in the 70s, you grew up in the 80s, and you became an adult in the 90s. Yeah. And that's why I will never change the name.
Right.
It has been around too long. I have established it.
Yes.
It is my brand.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
I totally agree. It gives it, and you have the whole entire vibe. I love, again, the visual. It just brings the radio experience to a whole different level. Thank you guys for your support for both of us, Ed and myself. Yeah, so I
Oh,
love it. I love the visual
visual, yeah, the
equipment.
visual radio, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely do. I have to see. I've never changed my name either. Yeah, I've changed it like I don't know 6 times, but this is it. Coffee Talk with Liz. I love what I do. Coffee Talk with Liz is having a cup of coffee while I'm chatting with one of the amazing creators here. So I do.
Jojo, right? I'll never change my name either. Okay, Gen X rocks.
I always sing, hey, hey, what you say, 1980 something most of the day. Oh, that rhymes, Sherry Nova. I always sing,
Yeah.
hey, hey, what you say, 1980 something most
So
of the day.
there is a song called 1980 something, and when I found it, it was in the early. No, it was in 2010, and I did not have the music licensing at the time. So I actually reached out to the person who wrote the song and on Twitter, and I asked them for permission. They gave me written permission to use that song that I play for my intro and my outro. And it's called, and if you listen to the whole song, it describes almost every Gen X. I wish the world had a little more mercy and a little less Cobra Kai. That was there's so much in that. And he's the singer's Egyptian. He's an Egyptian singer, and he talks about how when the Bangles came out with "Walk Like an Egyptian," it made him the coolest kid in school.
Wow.
And it was a true story. So, yes, Nelson, call it in tomorrow because I will never remember if you ask me now.
Yeah, you can just call me
Yeah,
Amber, like
so
Liz do.
he gave me permission to use the song. And I heard from him about 2 years ago. He was actually in my live. And he replied to the email that I had sent in 2010. He went back and found it and said, "I'm so glad you're still using my song."
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
it was very nice. It was very nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Register Gen X says, Ed, you can just call me Amber, like Jojo and Liz do. My TikTok name is
Okay.
Amber.
Okay.
Fine.
I didn't know because there was another faction that used to
Well, as long
have a
as you don't
different
do Amber,
variation of your name,
not,
and I didn't want to.
I don't think she likes Amber Leia. As long as you don't call her
Yeah.
Amber Leia, I think we're good.
Okay. Then we'll go with Amber then.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Ange. Her, real name is Angelina.
Mhm.
Or Angel is, yeah. And I have the sounder because from Richard Marx, because she says the only way anybody ever says my name right.
You guys are funny. Guys, so
And what's interesting is you get people you used to them coming in with their usernames,
yeah.
and then they change their usernames, and you're like, uh-oh.
No,
I'm trying to remember 75 people, and they come in and they change their name, and they're like, okay, I know the picture, but I don't recognize the name. What happened?
I don't know. I don't know how TikTok allows. There's speaking of names. There's some far out like names that I don't. Do you like pronounce the name even if it's a really not a not a good name?
If I there are times I'll make an attempt, and I'll say,
Okay.
please tell me if I got it right. Hello, Louise. If I make an attempt, if I get it right, they'll say, yeah, you got it right. If not, they'll try to spell it out phonetically. But if it's something that's like,
I don't know, far
you know,
out. Like I need to
trying
take
to
a
say
bath.
the alphabet,
Welcome.
I
I
won't
need
even.
to
I'll
take
say,
a
hey,
bath now.
yeah. I say, hey, okay, I see ya. I'm not trying your name. Thanks for being here.
Exactly. I'm like, why are you getting these names? These are like so far out.
Yeah,
Let's
Cindy.
see.
I'm not even going to try your last name. I just Cindy J. That's how it goes. Because I don't want to insult you.
Ed did not like my changing my name. So what
I
were you
didn't.
before? Danny?
Tales of a Scrunchy Mom. So we adapted her.
Oh.
we adapted her. I would call her scrunchiness. And I still call her that, even though she changed her name back to her actual name. But to me, she'll always be her scrunchiness.
Louise, she's like how late I am. It's all good. So I'll take this opportunity to say, we've been chatting for over. I can't even believe it. It's been 2 hours and 40 minutes. But I promise you that I'll post it today, guys, because I'm gonna obviously edit some of the stuff, but I don't mind watching it again. But yeah, so it will be posted, Louise. You did miss the entire show, but that's okay. You just click on if you haven't followed me already on the tube, I think I can say that.
Yeah.
Just go ahead, click on there, subscribe. Subscribing over there is free. It's different. It's like a follow, a subscribe, and then turn on the notification bell. This way, you'll know when I post that video. I will post it today as soon as I edit it.
Okay. Yep. Well, you know what? I think that's a good stopping point. I think unless anybody else has any other question, I want to say, Liz, thank you for what you do. Thank you for these interviews. Your trivia thing has become really starting to grow, and I'm so happy for you. But thank you for allowing me to come back and be the only person to get interviewed twice, and thank you for the idea. I didn't expect it, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, I definitely we needed a part two. We needed a part two for sure. So, guys, if you want to see the part two, don't apologize. That'll give you a reason to go to my YouTube channel, and then you can watch it at your leisure. Of course, not when Jojo Riot is live, not when I'm live, not when Ed's live. At another time.
Louise was out getting her tattoos. See, she's going to get Boom Shakalaka tattooed right here, and the closer tattooed right here.
Boom Shakalaka. I remember the first interview. I remember the word was tubular. Remember that you said your favorite word was tubular? I remember that.
Back in the day, I used to say tubular and rad all the time. I was gonna do call letters for the show, and we had taken suggestions, and this was a long time ago. This is over a year ago, and the one that kept coming up was KRAD, KRAD. But I can't do that one now because Rush After Dark, and I don't want to take away from him.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can't do that. I got respect.
I love the fact that you take into account other creators, and that not everyone does that. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
KED, WK. So people are dropping acronyms here. Jojo says
KED.
WK.
See, I can't do that, Jojo Riot. I mean, you're the one that grew up on Cincinnati radio. If anybody's doing it, you're doing it. He grew up in Cincinnati. I mean, he is. I am a huge KRP guy. I have a picture right there. This picture is Dr. Johnny Fever. He's framed in my studio. I have several KRP shirts. I loved KRP. I absolutely did. But I can't take away from Jojo Riot. He was on Cincinnati radio. He gets dibs.
Amazing. I've met so many amazing people on this app that and you guys are so down to earth, so easy to talk to, and I love it. I really do. With that said, guys, anybody else? Last call, guys. Last call. And Angie said, Ange is sending you some love right there. Love you too, Jojo. Love you, everybody that's here. We kept pretty much 40 amazing people here. Thank you guys. And Ed, last words, final thoughts.
Just remember what I said. When you find a creator you like, whether they are playing music, whether they're doing trivia, whether they are inspirational, motivational, whatever it might be, go there because it brings you joy. Go there because it brings you peace. Don't go there because you feel obligated. Don't go there because you feel it necessary Go there because you want to be there, because that creator gives you that feeling right here. Doesn't matter what's happened with anybody else, doesn't matter what could possibly happen. Go there because you find your peace there. I have said it here several times. There are very few creators I go to when I spend a lot of time in their lives. Um, it's unfair that I don't spend more time in yours, Liz, because it's hard for me not to answer all the questions. I feel like I have an unfair advantage sometimes because I have a quagmire of useless information
Well,
up here, and
it's
it's
funny
like,
you say that because I want to do a proposal now that I'm here with you. I would like to do a
yeah,
DJ trivia, like the DJs like you, JoJo, and a couple of, to have
oh my
a
goodness,
trivia battle,
oh my
for
goodness,
lack of a
oh,
better word.
that would be interesting. That would be interesting. I mean,
The
I don't
battle
want
of
to
the DJs.
humiliate Jojo Riot or anything, but no, I'm kidding. He'd probably kick my
Ooh,
ass.
he said,
He'd
"Let's
probably kick
go."
my ass.
He said, "Let's go."
He'd probably kick my ass. You see, I'm backpedaling now. See what I'm doing there?
I
I
just
got
had
to
to throw it
lower
in there.
expectations. No, I think it'd be great. I think we would have a great time with that. The only problem is, Liz, is you'd have to keep us on track. You would have, because I think if you were to ask a question, and especially if it was radio related, I could see JoJo and I going off on a tangent for 15 minutes. I'm just saying.
Nelson will mute you. Now I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. But I know, honestly, no, I did. It did cross my mind, and I said, "Hey, what? This is the opportunity to ask you." And of course, think about it. I didn't mean to throw you like
No,
on the
no.
spot like that. So I would love for
I
it to
think you did,
happen.
Liz. I absolutely think you did.
I just think it would be fun, because you guys are like the encyclopedia of music, and why not just to see, I don't know, I think it would be something fun. We could plan it out.
Look at Elizabeth Francis. They mute us. You know what? You know what? You can't mute us. We will be heard. Our smartassery will not be muted.
JoJo says radio people don't know when to shut up.
We don't. We absolutely do not. Don't give us a mic. For the love of God, don't give us a mic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Well,
You
maybe
put a
we'll
mic
see.
in front of me and I'm done.
I'll keep you guys posted for real. I would love for that to happen. Maybe we could make it happen sometime. And I totally get it. I go on for 4 hours. I don't expect anyone to be in my life for 4 hours. I mean, you guys have a life. The fact that you go in, throw the heart, just show some love, say hello, share it to your story. That to me means the world. It does, because I
Right.
know that you guys work. Some of you even sneak out of work and start playing the trivia. So don't want to get you guys fired. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I really mean it. So
Yeah,
with that
exactly,
said,
Jojo. Right. I mean, we were paid to talk. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
What's interesting is when I was in radio and I was doing the live theater stunt shows, I used to tell people I'm paid to be a smartass. I was paid to do this. So just prepare yourself. And I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I think so too. Let's talk about it behind the scenes. I would love to make that happen. I think that would be a little twist on the trivia. I'm always thinking of ideas. And I think that one would be a great one.
Just remember, find the one that brings you the best joy, the most peace, and support that creator. Um, if you ever want to do what we do, start with what you have. You don't need everything I've got. You don't need everything Cody's got or Jojo Riot's got or Triple Nickel or anybody. You don't need it all to start. Start with what you have, start with your heart, and go from there. Happy to help, happy to give advice, happy to help with technical stuff, but just start. Don't try to be something you're not. Just go with your heart. Don't try to copy somebody. Be yourself. Just be you. That's my biggest thing I can leave everybody with.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate you. That is so true.
Oh, thank you.
Everybody agrees with you. Absolutely. Just be you. Nobody else could be you. The best version of you. That's it. You know?
I started with this view right here. I started on my phone. Everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, Ed, it's got this huge studio." No, no. I started right here. All came from here.
Look at where you are now, 3 years later. Amazing. Amazing.
And it's just having fun. Hurricane Mom, hi. She was in a box last night. She was dancing. She dancing like crazy.
Oh man, you had a party. Man, it was amazing. It was. I was so tired. I wish I could have joined you, but definitely, I definitely want to join you next Friday.
You're joining next week, Liz. Just
Oh,
book it. You're
absolutely.
getting in the box.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know if you've seen me dancing because I have danced in my live while Dan has been DJing. So I don't know if you want me to go.
Oh yeah,
dance
I
with
was
you.
there. I was there. I saw you. You
My
got some
hips
moves.
don't lie. No, but it was
But
fun.
from everybody that was there from day one, and if yesterday was day one for you, welcome to the family, and please, please enjoy yourself and just sit back. I want to be the stress-free 2 hours of your day. That's what I want.
Amen. Danny says, I will be there next week. I will be better by then.
Well, feel better, sweetie. We love you.
Yeah. Well, with that, guys, I'm going to edit this and it's going to be 3 hours. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Ed, again. I can't thank you enough. I'm honored. I am blessed that I've met you and that you believed in me, you know. I thank you so much because of what you said before. You come to me not for any drama. You come to me because you enjoy me as a person and you know me as a person and my content. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You are very welcome. You are very welcome. And I appreciate each and every one of you. But for now, we are out of here.
Bye for now, guys.
Thank
I
you,
love you guys.
everybody.
All right. See you later.